tonight. It is going to be one for the ages, and tonight, MotoCar FITE Klub debuts for the very first time. Now, let's meet some of tonight's featured drivers.
Deegan and McGrath in particular, obviously with the off-road truck racing events that they've done, they have a lot of time in the trucks, on the dirt. I think there's probably a carryover aspect, so definitely going to be tough. I mean, they're gonna know the ins and outs to the details. So I feel like I have a good chances with the prep that I've done, but I'm going to have to really eliminate the mistakes.
I think there's several attractions to this event and why I wanted to do it. The first one being I have zero experience on four wheels, especially four wheels on dirt. You know, we've all dabbled in shifter karts and things like that, but never a full-size car on dirt. And secondly, to race with these legends, you know, guys that their resume, it's a laundry list of championships and race wins, and the list goes on.
Well, this year, when we heard about the Moto car, I'm like, oh, that is right up my alley, and it's going to be on dirt. So they reached out to my manager and myself and said, hey, would you be interested in joining up MotoCar FITE Klub for FITE TV? I'm like, absolutely. They told me when it was, when the dates were. It happened to fall on an off week for supercross, so I didn't have to be at the supercrosses calling the races. So I'm like, man, let's do it.
Well, first of all, when I got the phone call, I was like, what's going on? So they explained, and I'm like, how the heck are you going to get all these guys in one place at one time? And that's kind of was the one thing that was amazing to me. So I thought it was a great idea. And for me, when do I ever have a chance to come race against all the dudes that were the best of the best in the industry that I grew up in? Like, for me, it was like a kind of no-brainer. I have to make time for this. So I was like, yeah, let's get down there and have a battle. I don't think you have a group of guys more motivated to win than these guys, each of these guys, no matter what it is. We could be racing shopping carts at the grocery store and it's going to be a race, right? So hey, this is a great chance for me to say I beat the best of the best. So that's kind of why I'm here.
I think, fortunately for me, I have a lot of experience in off-road racing. Obviously not dirt track racing like this, but I do have probably 10 plus years inside of a seatbelt and a confined seat. So at first you do feel very claustrophobic, but I've gotten used to it. It's quite a bit different than the motocross type situation where you're kind of free like a bird. You can do what you want, you can move the bike and all that stuff. I don't feel confined. Some guys might, but there's plenty of guys here that have had a lot of laps with a seatbelt. So my mindset going in is just like another day in the off-road car, and just going to come around here and try to find the line and get some lap times, and yeah, just be fast, be smooth, and not overdrive the car.
Yeah, I've never raced anything with an engine. The only engine's come from inside here my entire life. I've done the Tour de France 11 times. I went to Olympics twice, but nothing will remotely help me for this. So, but at the same time, I've raced my whole life, and still a killer instinct comes out. But yeah, I am definitely the outlier. You know, you have all the legends of motocross and myself. It's a little bit weird, but it's great. Whenever you have a group of guys like this all together, they're all chomping at the bit, and it's going to be a good time.
For all of us, I think that we're all so competitive. I don't think that, you know, the thing is this particular group, I think that they're super competitive. Any of them that tell you that they're just here for fun and whatever, I think we're all here to try to win and, you know, have a little laugh and you know, shit talk on your friends. But I think at the end of the day, we're all here to try to win and to do well. I think whoever wins this thing, you're going to have the last laugh for a while.
This is MotoCar FITE Klub, and my name is Rob Vitus, along with J.H. Leo. J.H., we're up here in the catbird seat right now as these cars are just getting the track run in right now. They've been patient all day, but now they're rabid out there as the lights are on and the racing lines are starting to form.
Yeah, that's right, Rob. They're out here for the first time today, actually getting a few laps in. We only had a limited chance yesterday for these guys to get in their cars and meet their car owners who were gracious enough to lend them these cars. And they got to burn a few laps, but mostly worked on checking their straps and working all that fun stuff they were working on. But now we're actually back on track for the first time. Justin Brayton, you see him here, working the track in, getting a little sideways. and getting a feel for what it's going to be like tonight. It's a whole different day today, and it's race day now, so this is going to be a different experience for these guys.
Yeah, the 4-time Australian Supercross champion in the muck-off stock car out there. It's been really something to check out. And how about the folks from Dirt Monkey, some of the folks that have jumped up and sponsored these guys? You got Ricky Carmichael. He's in the Leland and Deegan and Jones car. That's something pretty special. MC's in the Moog Signs by Traps. Reed's in the Columbia Flag and Sign car. Ryan Dungey in the Moto Star car. Brian Deegan in the LDC Army. Brayton, he's out there in the Dirt Monkey again. We talked about the muck-off all the way from Australia. And Christian Peterbilt. Talk about bringing somebody from outside the industry in.
Well, that's cool. And Christian, he's for the Moto fans at home, he may not be as big of a name for you guys who are used to seeing the McGraths and the Carmichaels, the Dungeys, and the Reeds and the Braytons, but he is for sure a legend in his own right as a 11-time Tour de France competitor and a local boy here just down the road in Greenville.
Anytime you have a chance to go represent at the Tour de France, you're in a very elite group. But this group of drivers down here tonight, incredibly elite. You look at the RD5 car. Ryan Dungey is in the coffee business. We were talking to his team owners earlier in the day. They said he is a sponge, constantly coming off, questions asked. They're making adjustments to the car. And JH, he's just getting faster every time he's out on the track.
Yeah, and he's another one who hasn't had any experience in something like this. Again, these guys have dabbled in shifter carts and other things maybe before, but nothing at this level in this type of car and this type of racing. Ryan, actually, when he got the call to do it, he figured out how to weigh because he was wanting to make sure that he was able to get the necessary experience to come out here and compete and show well. He went and found himself a test track up in Charlotte, and he actually went up there and drove, and got some laps in ahead of time before coming here. So he's been taking this super serious, and at the same time, it's going to be a fun event, but he's also wanting to make sure he goes out there and gets himself in the right position to do a good job.
Down on the track right now, they're bringing out some of the Hornets cars, and these are just something we want to do, fill in the time as these guys, the drivers, come back and make some adjustments. Let's talk about qualifying here quickly. You want to know who the fastest is? The fastest qualifier? I'm not going to tell you right away. I'm going to tell you that it was Christian Velde who qualified in the 7th spot, 24-second lap times. Ricky Carmichael qualified in the number 6 spot. Then you had Ryan Dungey up there turning a lap time slightly quicker. Chad Reed was a bit quicker than Jeremy McGrath. Tell me, JH, I think this is a shock to both of us. Yesterday had not been in a race car. Today sits in pole position early in the afternoon.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. Brayton, he took like it to a duck to water yesterday. He was fast right out of the box, once he started figuring out the steering and where the groove was. So I'm not too terribly surprised watching how quickly he adapted to the racing yesterday.
As the drivers climb out of the car, you see Jeremy McGrath talking to his crew. Here's the Hornets. We talked about them. Very affordable, 4-cylinder front-wheel drive cars. They got some great wraps on them as well. And these guys and gals, they're going to be out there. They're going to be doing some filling while they make adjustments to the car. You see Chad Reed now talking to a team owner down there. They're going to probably put some wedge in. What are some of the great terminology we'll be throwing around tonight?
Well, I like this. I can't say that I'm an expert at this either, but by any means. But I'm going to try to do my best tonight from what I learned myself today listening to these guys. I saw a lot of them making a lot of tire pressure adjustments yesterday. That was a big thing as the track was coming in and they were finding the groove. And they did make some rear end adjustments to the car to help get it to feel more balanced. So as they were coming into the corner, what's interesting is they don't use a whole lot of brake here. They basically just use a little bit of brake coming into the corner to set the car where they want it, and then back on the gas to get that thing to come around the back end and then steer it through the corner. So it was fun for us to watch because we've seen these guys for years in the moto environment here, like Ricky Carmichael, of course. Not unfamiliar for him to be in there all dirty and muddy, but behind the wheel is definitely a different experience. And so the translation with the race team trying to explain what they were feeling was definitely a fun and interesting thing for us to watch yesterday and see these guys try to learn as much as they could about their cars.
Ricky Carmichael's race face just never goes away, does it? He has that look. The determination. When you get 150 wins. I have to think that he's holding a little something back in the early qualifying. He's somebody that wanted to save the car, maybe get a feel for it. If I know Ricky Carmichael, he was probably taking some unique lines, just seeing what the track was going to give him tonight.
Yeah, they didn't get a whole lot of time on the track, so I'm sure Ricky, as he's known for doing in his moto career, was for sure out there probably trying to definitely, like you said, Rob, figure out where the different lines were going to be, see if the line was changing, and not really show anything to the other guys either, probably, depending upon where they were in behind them, following them.
Great lineup of cars out there on the track right now. These are the Hornets. They're just running the track in, folks. You haven't missed any of the action yet. Brian Deegan heading up into the trailer. And again, we'll have opening ceremonies coming up. But these drivers had a chance to make some last-minute adjustments to their car. We're going to see how that plays out through the night. They've had qualifying. They're going to be out there one at a time coming up here quickly to see just who can set that fast lap time now.
Yeah, that's right. And then we're going to have some really good format for you guys tonight. At home here and at the live audience, so it's going to be really exciting for you guys to see these guys. We're going to have some head-to-head racing, which will be really fun to watch, as well as Ricky and Deegan here comparing notes probably a little bit. See, there's the smiles. These guys, they're here. They all want to win for sure, but the conversation dominating for sure has been fun. It's been about how much fun this has been here to have fun. And this group of guys, too, especially with the current environment, there hasn't had a chance to spend a lot of time with each other like we normally would at the races. So it's kind of the first time a lot of us have spent a lot of time together, hanging out and having some conversations and catching up about what's been going on back at home and at the races.
I like this guy. He decided to go full, I don't even need a number out there, and half of my body work will be hanging off just a little bit right here. These are the Hornets, so these guys will sting you, I think, if you get up too close to them. And we'll be talking a little bit later in the night to the official track announcer, and he'll give us all their catchy nicknames and the story on these cars. 4 cylinders, front-wheel drive. You and I know that. After that, it becomes a mystery to us because these guys came in strong. He does have a number on this side. That's the number 88 machine.
It looks like fun. I'll give you that right now. That definitely looks like fun. So maybe something we can look into here.
And you know as well as I do, we're a chance to look at the social media, to look at it. We know a lot of the race fans, why aren't they on bikes? Why aren't they on bikes? These guys have, Ricky Carmichael has a full-time job working in supercross, traveling around the country as an announcer. He rides his motorcycle for fun. They wanted to do something that kind of leveled the playing field. You have Jeremy McGrath, now 49 years old. Ryan Dungey told us he's 32. Brayton still racing, I believe, 37 years old. So there's a very diverse
and Chad
group.
was just racing
a year ago.
So
trust us, folks. We love motocross. We're going to have all that stuff back. We'll have two-stroke. We'll have vintage racing. But tonight, they wanted to – you don't see them that happy when they're at a motocross track at this moment because they are enjoying this whole experience.
And there's Ricky Carmichael and his teammate, his Fox Racing teammate, Ryan Dungey, and their shiny new Fox Racing fire suits that was Sparka hooked them up with, which was really cool for those guys to, because, again, even though some of these guys have had some car experience, there was a lot of behind-the-scenes work that went into getting these guys ready for this race. You have to think about car racing helmets. You can't run a moto helmet. You got to think about a fire suit. A lot of other things like that come up. It's a lot of logistics and travel and planning. Jeremy McGrath now in the picture. So there's quite a few championships in that picture right there. You got Ricky with 15, Jeremy and Ryan with 8 each. That's a lot of championships right there in that shot.
You guys, we were doing some moto math earlier in the day, JH, and I think the folks at home will find out. We only have 7 drivers here. It's not like we have a full field of 40 or something, or we have, a Hall of Fame lineup, which we do, by the way. But give us some of the numbers that these drivers have wrapped up in the two-wheel world.
Yeah, it was fun for us while we're doing our bench racing sessions, planning for not just the event, but kind of just leading up to it. And as the field was set and we figured out who could be here and who couldn't, Ryan Villapota was supposed to be. He was on the slate to be here. Unfortunately, had a personal obligation that he had to attend to. And we understand that, but he was sending everyone a message today about how much he wished he was here because he was looking forward to kicking everybody's butt. So I'm sure Ryan's watching back at home. But he had an obligation to be here. So if he would have been in the mix, it would have been more. But here's the numbers. Championships alone, Justin, we're talking about their world of motocross and supercross. We have in the premier class, we have 30, and including the 250 motocross championships, we have 34 championships. That's 34 championships among the riders in the field as drivers tonight. 375 wins in motocross and cross.
I almost think you have to say that again because we're talking about 7 individuals, and I have a feeling when you go through the whole archives from 71 up through in motocross, this 375 has to be the lion's share of them.
Well, Ricky and McGrath are 1 and 2 on the list, so there's the lion's share right off the top. So there you got those two guys. But what's interesting too here is we also have another interesting category because we have with Brian Deegan in the field. We also have an X Games category, and Brian's not the only X Games athlete because we have other guys who have competed in the field as well. So Brian tops the list. Brian's got 14 X Games medals, 4 of them golds. Ricky has 3 golds and 2 bronzes. Chad's got a bronze, and Jeremy's got a gold, 2 silvers, and a bronze. So that's 24 X Games gold medals in the field.
And let's not forget about Olympics and the Tour de France, because my friend Christian, not only does he live locally, not only is he on NBC doing live color commentary every time there's a Tour de France on, but one of the nicest guys we've ever met.
Yeah, Christian Vandeveld's great. It's a funny story how he got involved, too. Ricky takes his Peloton class. Ricky's been, obviously, as you see him right there, he's been back in the gym, getting back in shape, taking his training real seriously again. And he got himself a Peloton, and that's like a lot of people have done during the COVID times here, and took the opportunity to get himself back in shape. And Christian leads one of the Peloton classes, and a lot of the Moto guys, for those who don't know, they're huge fans of cycling. They spend a lot of time in the bicycle training. It's a big part of their training regimen that they do during the off season and during the season, and they're just fans and enthusiasts of it, whether it's road biking or mountain biking. And so Christian is a big part of the Peloton family, and Ricky takes a lot of his classes, and that's how they kind of became buddies. Christian's a fan of our sport. A lot of the cyclists are fans of motocross and supercross. And Christian and him became buddies and started kicking up on texts. And when we found out we were racing here and we had a slot to fill, we thought it'd be cool to have a hometown boy because he lives right down the road in Greenville.
Again, if you're just joining us, welcome to Fight TV and MotoCar FITE Klub on the track right now as they're warming up. They've just finished qualifying. These are called the Hornet cars. You see them diving off the track there on track exit right next to the Fight TV fan. And as we get them back in the pits and get them loaded up, we're going to be back with some opening ceremonies. And these guys have been chomping at the bit. Last night we had a big meet and greet with the fans. Very social distance, very well thought out. Thank you very much to Road to Recovery for organizing that. And you could just see the joy that they had because they were enjoying us so much.
Yeah, it was. It was just another special part of what this weekend's been all about. You know, you spend so much time talking about it and leading up to it and what it's going to be like, and then you get here and everything's been run extremely smoothly. Eddie and Jessica have done a great job with welcoming us to their track and their facility here. Lori's done a great job on the Road to Recovery side of organizing the fundraisers and the event last night, to help, kind of make some connections, doing the best we can do under these circumstances to meet with the fans. So it was definitely a good time last night. We really appreciate the Road to Recovery people for helping make all this happen.
Chad Reed hanging out down there with our buddy Sheet Metal down there, enjoying little trackside. He made the short drive down. He said it was just under 2 hours. He left NASCAR country to come down here to us.
Yeah, that's right. I was talking to Ben earlier. He was talking about the ride down and how he just couldn't miss it. You got to be here to support his guy, and we're right down the road. And we saw a few other friendly faces down there too. We had the guys from Racing Optics came down. They provide a lot of tear-offs for the guys racing tonight. They're up based in North Carolina. We had Trevor Baines here.
Well, let me tell you a little bit. You just mentioned something, the tear-offs. And everybody in the moto world, and I'm sure there's a lot of us that are joining us as well as the stock car world, they think about tear-offs. There's no windshield in these cars. The tires are about 10 inches wide, both of them. They have over 400 horsepower, and it's a dirt track. They're getting roosted in these things.
Yeah, as you saw that shot of Ricky getting out of his car earlier, and Ryan, you saw how much mud is on the car getting thrown up at him. And that was those guys not even racing close. That's just being spread out, just kind of breaking the track in. So, yeah, tear-offs are a must and something these guys are familiar with. They've used them in Moto, and believe it or not, it's the same company that makes the one for their goggles that makes the one for car racing.
Laminates, they don't even have pins in them anymore. They just stick to the leads. And it used to be tear-offs. You could stack just a few of them because it got such a distorted view. I know that a few years ago in the laminate world, are they still talking 21 laminate tear-offs?
They're actually making 10 stacks. Now you can go up to 30.
Wow, outstanding, outstanding. And we see the line of cars still pulling into Travelers Rest. When they heard that the motocross and supercross stars were coming, the folks, I believe, in this part of the region said Thursday night, we're going to head out and make this a big-time stop.
Yeah, it was really cool last night. We were out to dinner last night, and everyone in the town knew about the race going on and that all the guys were here. Today we stopped at Chick-fil-A, grabbed ourselves a salad on the way in. The lady at the Chick-fil-A window, she knew exactly who all the drivers were here tonight and that they were in town. Couldn't believe that they saw a couple of them come through their window. So it's definitely really cool that the local community is as excited about this race going on tonight as we are for being here.
One of the things that made this possible was there was a small break in the supercross schedule. This year, very unique schedule, and Ricky said, listen, I can make it, but let's do it on Thursday. And thank goodness we did. 70 degrees, sunny the last 2 days. I think everybody had to put the sunblock on. Tomorrow, the inclement weather returns to this part of South Carolina.
Yeah, we like to say the sun shines on the righteous, I guess. Is that how it goes? So.
I believe it is. They're starting to work in the track, and we're continuing to get the riders' cars set up down there as we get ready to go to one driver at a time will be on the track for qualifying. It'll be very quick. We'll find out how they stack up. We'll put them into a bracket. That bracket will then put them in head-to-head match races against each other. Winner stays, losers out right away. We'll bring the Hornets back for one of their main events, and then we'll be back for our A feature. That's going to be how quick and energetic it goes tonight. These riders are drivers. Man, we should call them rivers because they're like a hybrid kind of.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. It's been a challenge for all of us all weekend here talking about whether we're drivers or riders. But tonight they're definitely drivers. They're in a car, 4 wheels. There they are. There you see Ricky Carmichael, Jeremy McGrath, the 2 winningest riders of the sport in motocross and supercross. Using some of that new hand lingo that you don't normally see in a motocross race. They're definitely talking about setup and how the steering wheel works rather than the handlebar. So it's definitely interesting how they've had to adapt to everything, every aspect of their racing life this weekend. So
you and I were talking last night. It's usually a motion, how they're going through the whoops or a little step on, step off through a rhythm section. Now it's the big saw. Let's see if Reedy gets in on the steering wheel movements as well as they're starting to take their place down there. We'll have the opening ceremonies and everything coming up shortly. And Deegan, then you see McGrath, then you see the rest of the boys, Brayton down there, and here they come. There's Ryan Dungey joining the lineup.
Yeah, there's our group photo. So we got Christian Vande, he's out there on the left. We'll work ourselves left to right. Got Justin Brayton, got Brian Deegan, Chad Reed, Ricky Carmichael, Jeremy McGrath, and Ryan Dungey. That's our field tonight, folks. That is an impressive group. Like we said, 34 championships, 375 wins, and 24 X Games medals. Also 11 Tour de France appearances and 2 Olympic appearances. So that is about as impressive a lineup as you're going to see at a racetrack anywhere in the country.
True all-star lineup, and we have them right here at Travelers Rest Raceway on our very first ever stock car program on Fight TV. And for you folks that are joining us, we couldn't be happier to be bringing you the action. And for the folks that are not joining us, if you have somebody at home that loves dirt bikes, that loves stock cars, tell them to tune in. They can pick this purchase up forever, own it forever. There's Christian giving us a little bit of the swag down there as we're about to get things underway with opening ceremonies here in just one moment.
Yeah, so yeah, we're about to get underway. They look like they got the cars you can see there. They got the trucks out on the track, still working in that groove, making sure that the track is as good as it can possibly be for racing. We want to make sure that gives the drivers the opportunity to put on a good show for you fans out here tonight. Man, we got a lot of fans. Look at how packed the parking lot is. That's awesome to see people coming out to check this out tonight.
Great kickoff to 2021. I know that earlier today our buddy Bones was checking in with us, making sure that everything was up to standard, so I hope he's having a good time out on the left coast. Also, Don M., the Daytona 200 winner. He's tuned in right now with his family back in the California area.
Yep, we got his wife Tracy as well. I'm sure she's tuned in there also. Trevor Bain's here tonight. He took the short drive down. He's down here hanging out. Him and Ryan were talking coffee as they're both coffee company owners, sharing notes on their coffee business. That was pretty cool. Ryan Dungey, who's got the Ryan Dungey, the RD coffee brand he's been working on, which has been one of his cool post-career ventures that he's been involved in. And like I said, the amount of interest that this has generated, it's been awesome, from all these guys and their sponsors. We had the Fox Racing guys. They were checking in yesterday. We wanted to know who looked fast. Jeff Stanton, huge supporter of this event, who was part of your first event that you guys did. He was checking in. He was wanting to know all the dirt and the scoop on who was doing what and how they were doing.
Well, we had everybody that was chiming in. Brock Glover was checking in. Stan was checking. Stan did a snowmobile video to try to help us out. That's over 13,000 views already, and he was just riding a little sled right beside his house. That's how creative. Bevo 40 was checking in from 100%, so it was great to have him down here and giving us his support. So it's
Randy Richardson, yeah, he did. Randy tried to break into the track last night at Pears from his video. He was trying to get in here. He felt snubbed that he was left out. He thought that he had something for this field. So
we just have to make sure that this thing goes so well, we're able to do it again and get everybody involved as we continue on down the road of entertainment and motorsports.
Yeah, that's that's been the fun thing too. Jeff Emig was checking in with us today. I think he's probably tuned in watching. He was excited to see how the boys were going to do tonight, and everyone wants a piece of this. They think this looks fun, and they heard the fun that resonated from the drivers about how this experience has been has got everyone now saying, man, I definitely need to go check that out if I get a chance to do it again. Hopefully we get a chance to do this again, and they want to get themselves involved.
Yeah, we just hope that everybody appreciates what these drivers did to get here tonight. We had some that flew in, like Jeremy McGrath. It's his wife's birthday this weekend, and you know what she wants for her birthday? Go win.
W. Wants a W. Another W in the column. Chad Reed, we're talking to Chad. Oh, there's Haley Deegan. She's probably giving Brian some notes.
Danger Boy down there as
Danger
well.
Boy's down there with Mom. Yep, there you go. They got the whole Deegan family here. I think that's unfair advantage for Brian to get tips from Haley right now because she's got probably more experience than anyone sitting down there in this type of racing.
Driving the trucks, and you're very familiar with that series as well. And I guess they're heading to Bristol. They'll be up on the high banks that are now dirt filled, so that's going to be something very unique. I love that everybody's trying to get into the swing of things, if you will, as to what people want to see. And right now, dirt on a big high bank is something they want to see, and superstars like this coming out here having a good time is something they're into as well.
Well, and they're competitors and they're good racers, so they know what it takes to race and put on a good show, so that's also part of it, without a doubt. Talking about, again, going back to the effort it took to get here, Chad Reed's here on his maiden voyage of his new motorhome and got all three kids and the wife. They're parked here. They drove in. They stayed at the track last night. That's excellent commitment right there as well. But they're heading tomorrow, or actually tonight. They're leaving tonight straight after the event because the family has a BMX race in Dothan, Alabama that they have to get down to. So they got to leave tonight, and then they got to get themselves set up and squared away so we can actually get themselves ready to go. The kids do their racing this weekend. Now that Chad's retired, he's full in on the BMX racing.
Well, folks, what I think we should do is get ready to go to opening ceremonies. And what we're going to have to kick this off is we're down here in the South. Let's have our opening invocation from Terry Reeves.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please join me in prayer. Thy Father in heaven, it's with humble hearts that we can stand before you. God, thanking you for the many opportunities that you've given each and every one of us. Lord, for these drivers out here tonight, God, just for their abilities, their God-given talents, we thank you for it, Lord, and we thank you for everything that you're going to do. Keep a hedge of protection around each and every one tonight. God, just keep us all safe, all fans, spectators, workers, drivers. God, just keep us all safe. We ask these things in Jesus' precious and holy name. Amen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please rise and join me for the national anthem.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
Well, folks, that's it. That's opening ceremonies. How about a big round of applause from the folks that are here for all of all these people that are making this thing tonight, you know what's exciting, JH, is we've got some people that have certainly done a great job of bringing us this type of thing. And they got the cars lined up outside. We're going to be having the qualifying session. One rider really quick. And what we're going to do is we're now going to go down trackside. And let's introduce our third announcer. It's going to be Lori Amstutz talking to these drivers tonight.
Yeah, I think the track's definitely going to change throughout the day. This last practice that we had was pretty wet. So I think it's only going to get better and better, and will make us closer throughout the night. So it's going to be some close racing. Excited to be here. Thank you guys for coming out. Should be a fun night.
That went down weirdly. It's interesting I'm here, of course. I'm sure that everyone's very quizzical why I'm here, but I figure if I get better and better, I should be winning by tomorrow. Lucky me.
She said, she was like, Dad, quit sliding so much. Quit sliding the car so much. So that's what she told me. She's up in the stands watching. It's always cool when your kids can turn around and give you advice on how to do things better, right? That's pretty common when they become teenagers. It's a standard thing in life. But overall, it's all good. It's fun. I'm just enjoying my time out here. And with all the guys, it's going to get competitive for sure. You have a bunch of winners here that aren't going to want to lose. So it'll be an exciting race. So, hey, we'll cheer us on, and we're going to get after it.
I think everybody is. These guys are great athletes, and it's just fun to be out here with all these guys. So much respect, and it's certainly going to be competitive, but I'm looking forward to it. Great cause and a lot of fun, and doing what we love to do and get that competitive aspect feeling. It's been a long time since I raced some of these guys, but nevertheless, it's going to be special. I think the fans are really going to enjoy it, and glad to be here.
You know what? It's good. The car feels good. It's, I mean, although I have some experience racing off-road, I've never really done any dirt late model racing. It took some time to get used to it. Yesterday was a little squirrely, but today I feel okay. And as the guy said, the track's going to come in. I just want to thank all you guys for coming to watch. I want to thank all you guys at home for watching us. It's going to be a good show. All these guys are driving great, and it's going to be a lot of fun out there. So appreciate these car owners for letting us use their cars. And we'll see how it goes. We'll try and give them hell tonight.
Okay, Chad. So after practice, what changes did you make on the car?
Zero, which is very, very different than what I'm used to. Normally we come and recreate the wheel and change it all up. But this is definitely, you know, we're outside of our normal. So, but man, what a ton of fun. Yesterday was so fun getting in there, learning the race cars, you know, trying to soak up all the information we possibly can. And, man, just hearing the anthem, you know, I'm freshly retired and, you know, and sitting at home watching the races, it was so awesome just to hear the anthem again and get ready to go racing and spark up some old, you know, friendly rivalry.
So when you were asked to come out tonight, what was the first thought that you thought when you got that call?
Just pure excitement, really, especially in the company that are all the other guys who are in the cars, definitely respectable athletes, and get back racing again. It's been some time for me as well, and you know, the track's looking good, car feels good. Big thanks to the car owners for letting us use their vehicle or cars, and just looking to have some fun and yeah, put a good push out there.
Back to you boys in the booth.
Well, thank you very much. And down there on the track side, Lori got a chance to talk to the drivers, JH. But what you and I are down here, we're getting ready for qualifying. And these drivers that are going to be out on the track right now are going to have a chance to get their cars dialed in and be part of the action. We've had a chance to hear the billboards, and here we go. We got to talk about some of the people that have really made this special tonight. The folks from RD Coffee. Take us through there, JH.
Yeah, Ryan Dungey's RD Coffee is a company built on strong core values and work ethic that serves a specialty coffee company to fuel your pursuits in life. Each roast is developed with the same dedication, passion, and commitment Ryan has applied to racing. Made with the highest grade of beans available and roasted with small batch precision, each roast features premium quality and taste. RD Coffee, fuel your pursuit.
How about where we stayed last night? One of the finest places going. The Hampton Inn Greenville Travelers Rest is located just a couple miles from Furman University and Paris Mountain State Park. Only minutes away from downtown Greenville, the Hampton Inn offers complimentary breakfast each and every morning and a wide selection of options. They also offer an on-site fitness center as well as a 24-hour business center. All rooms are equipped with room coffee makers. You can put some RD coffee in there if you want. Hair dryers, irons, and a 32-inch television. Thank you very much to the folks from Hampton by Hilton. What a great night's sleep we had.
It was a great. We've actually never been in. Most of us have never been in this part of the country.
How about a way to baby your car? The folks from Butler Tires, 4 locations in and around Atlanta. Gary Port tonight going to be our pace truck driver. They do cars. Today on the phone, Deshaun Watson had a truck built by these guys. A lot of the movie stars, a lot of the athletes down in the Atlanta area, a lot of the television industry counts on Butler Tires and Wheels, and we're so pumped to have him out here tonight. Gary Port, not only a longtime enthusiast of the sport, a racer himself, his whole family's involved, and the folks from Butler Tire and Wheel. Tip of the cap, and thank you very much for being part of the show tonight.
Yeah, I got a chance to check out that Butler Tires truck earlier, and it is equipped.
Well, I'll tell you what, rather than talk about it, let's have a look at what the folks at Butler Tire are all about.
Hi, I'm Gary Port from Butler Tire, Atlanta, Georgia. I'm the VP of sales. We have 4 locations in Atlanta, and I got the call from Rob, who's a dear friend for many, many years, Vande, the crazy man, and he invited us to this MotoCar Club, a fight club, and with all these champions, and I'm like, I've got to come. I was actually in the car on the way to the supercross. I said, I've got to come and watch these things come. We're going to be driving the pace car. I'm excited to get in front of these guys. I hope I can hold these steeds behind me because they're hungry. I heard some of them have been practicing, so we're ready to go. Butler Tire is so happy to be here, and thanks for inviting us, Rob. You know what I mean? You guys are sweet. I've had sleepless nights thinking about this time, so off we go, ready to the races.
There's somebody that loves hanging out at the racetrack right there. That guy had a good time down there. We see our buddy Denny Hartwig down there in front of the Butler Tires Wheels thing. He's getting some work done. Performance Tires and Wheel Centers, again, 4 big locations down there. And we're here at Travelers Rest Speedway. You know, it's fun to go to a racetrack that motocross people own, run, and work on. Eddie Ray and Jessica Patterson, you know, she's one of the winningest motocross racers ever. Eddie himself picked up a Loretta Lynn's title back in the day, and a longtime mechanic, and they're down here just passionate about. They have a motocross track. They do go-kart racing here. They do flat track, and, of course, stock car racing.
Yeah, we were checking out the motocross track earlier. It runs around the backside of the facility here where you see in the lower part of your screen. There's a motocross track that runs all around the backside there. And they've also had races. You can see the remnants here inside the infield where they've had some races in here as well. So, yeah, passionate people for sure, great people, and definitely dedicated to the sport.
Well, folks, let's take our first commercial break, and when we come back, the cars will be parked, the V8s will be fired up, and we'll be back with more qualifying from MotoCar FITE Klub on FITE TV.
love your shoes.
Thanks. They're wrapped in Michelin.
Well, you see drivers down there right now, JH. How about Jeff Stanton and his adventure tour? He partners up with Triumph, and now he's going to be giving adventure tours throughout the whole state of Michigan. You never know where Stanton will take you.
Yeah, Stanton's definitely a passionate guy about motorcycling and a passionate guy about his home state of Michigan, lifelong resident there. His family's been generations there in farming. And when he had the opportunity to take a look at what the next thing he could do, you know, these guys, like all of them, it's the same reason we spoke about it earlier, these guys getting in cars instead on motorcycles, you know, still have a passion for the sport, though. And for Jeff, one of the funnest things that the industry has had a huge spike in growth has been in the adventure category. So he teamed up with Triumph Motorcycles. He's got himself a few motorcycles up there, and he's teamed up with Pure Michigan. And you can go to Jeff Stanton Tours. You go check him out on the website there, and you can see he's got an awesome outline of a program. You can just ride motorcycles. You can pick the kind of trails you want to ride on. You can go kayaking one day. You can go skeet shooting. You can go fishing. He's got cabins on the lake. It's an amazing setup, and he's launching that this spring. And he's doing it because he loves the sport. Jeff Stanton doesn't need to do those things, but he's definitely into wanting to do things that help promote the great sport of motorcycling and keep himself active and outdoors. He's an outdoor guy, and that's a great way to do it with motorcycles.
He could do it all, from make sure he plans your wedding to take you adventure bike riding, golfing, hiking, biking. He was going to have a little something for everybody. And he has something for the ladies up there as well. He'll take them with any type of tour they want. And if they want to go shopping, golfing, wine tasting, he has something for them as well. They're down there now. Now you see the drivers climbing back into their cars right now. The team owners and the crew that are down there have made their last adjustments to the race cars. In moments, we're going to have them out on the track qualifying. Once again, JH, this was unbelievable. Christian Vande qualifies in the number 7 spot. Ricky Carmichael in the number 6 position. Ryan Dungey on top of Carmichael. Then we have Brian Deegan, Chad Reed, Jeremy McGrath, second quickest. This is still blows my mind. Justin Brayton, JB10, sits on pole at this moment.
Yeah, again, I mean, he's you can be surprised, but he came in here. He was definitely, you could see he had, again, current racer. So he's one of the few guys here that's still actively racing, and he came in with that racer mentality. He took to the track. You could see he was really eager to learn. He had a lot of communication going back and forth with his team. You know, again, these guys are sponges, racers, trying to learn, and he definitely took to the track. And every time he went out, you could see he was getting faster and more comfortable. And the more comfortable you get, then the faster you go again. And he just kept building on that. So I'm not too terribly surprised. You know, Brayton's definitely, he's racy. The bigger surprise for me is, again, the fact that he's injured right now. He couldn't even race his supercross race last week due to a practice crash, broke a rib, has some contusions in his intercostal and sternum, and yet he's strapped into a car and out there racing. That's incredible to me.
I'll tell you, one of the things you don't want to see if you're a race car driver is the hood off the car and the boys in there dumping a little something into the looks like we've got some oil and some antifreeze going into Jeremy McGrath's car right now. So always working on these things.
Yeah, that or possibly some brake fluid. I can't tell there with that side they're going to, but maybe he's looking for – oh, wait, no. Hard to say. But, yeah, definitely looking to get a feel there, or maybe the light came on inside the car. Definitely want to make sure they feel comfortable. Here we go. First guy on the track, Christian Vande.
Christian Vande, an 11-time Paris-Dakar racer, an Olympic racer, never been in a race car, and he's about to be the first one out on the track. He's going to see what he can lay down in a 3-lap qualifying thing. This could move him up the post into the bracket racing. Whoever sets fastest lap time, JH, gets a bye in the head-to-head racing.
Yeah, that's right. Christian, he's definitely, as far as experience in car racing goes, he told us that the only engine he's ever used has been his body, so he's never competed in anything, but he's a racer nonetheless, but only using his legs and his internal motor to keep him going. So this is definitely something for him that is completely out of the norm, but again, very impressive how well he adapted and never done it before. There you go. There you see Ricky Carmichael's car under the Monster Energy number 4, very familiar in car racing, as he's had a lot of four-wheel experience with the NASCAR Truck Series and Xfinity Series. You can see that the Fox Racing, Oakley, Cometic, Pro Circuit, Triumph logos on there as well. Boxa USA, new sponsor he just picked up. Great tool company on board. So, again, a lot of sponsors coming on to help us with this project, for all these guys and making it happen. You see Ryan Dungey with his RD Coffee, Fox Racing Oakley ride there. Also brought to you by MotoStar, the guys that helped sponsor his car. Ricky's sponsor was Leland and Deegan Jones. Want to make sure we mention those guys because they were actually been with some of our riding schools. Brian Deegan, the 38 with the LDC Army Monster Energy car, the 38 car there, Brian Deegan. And, again, he's getting some pointers from his daughter, Haley, which we alluded to earlier. That's pretty cool to hear that he's getting tips from your kids. That's got to be a little humbling, I think.
Tell you one of the best thing out there. How about our friend Christian, the Peterbilt truck, and there's the muck-off car, the current fastest car that's set up so far tonight, and he made some adjustments yesterday that just helped them get faster and faster. Jason Wygant had called us and said, listen, Brayton wants to do this. He's buddies with Jimmy Johnson. I think Jimmy Johnson's buddies with anybody that'll go mountain bike ride with him.
Mountain bike or moto. He's obviously Jimmy came from the motorcycle world and then got himself into off-road racing before he got himself into NASCAR. So he's a huge fan of the sport. He follows along. Him and JB are good friends. They spend a lot of time out on the bicycles, training together in the off season and spending time together. So he's a big fan. So I'm sure he's tuned in, checking this out tonight too. And it's awesome to see how well JB did again tonight so far.
So far they're getting the machines lined up. McGrath, you see the Arma car if you're looking at the screen now, right behind Dungey's blue and white RD Coffee 5 car, and they're getting it lined up. There's the Peterbilt car. Maybe Christian will get, yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's race car style. Here they come up on the GOAT, and what's he going to throw us up there? Is he in full? Oh, yeah. He's telling he's ready to go.
Definitely got his race face on tonight, that's for sure. Ryan Dungey and his RD Coffee, and get the thumbs up. And there's a new Rye helmet that he got there. Thanks to the guys for Rye getting. Ryan didn't even have a car racing helmet, so he had to go scramble get a car racing helmet for this event. There you go. There's Brian and his wife.
There's the Deegan family. He'll give you a little hand clap, get the adrenaline going right there.
He's definitely a showman, been excited. We had some fun times listening to his X Games stories last night at the meet and greet.
Oh, how about this guy, though, Chad Reed? It doesn't matter. Lamborghini was the last time he raced a car. Now he's out here on dirt sliding. I don't think there's anything that Chad Reed will not race if it's fun.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time, built a go-kart track at his house because he wanted to get ready for some car racing in his post-motorcycle racing career, and won himself a championship in Lamborghini racing, and he's out here tonight in dirt. We asked him if there was any translation whatsoever. He said absolutely not. This is completely foreign to him. He was trying to figure out how to steer the thing, and that was hard enough for him just to try to get this thing figured out early on in his practice session. But like these guys have, he picked it up quick, and he was right up to speed.
Well, here we go. MotoCar FITE Klub qualifying sets the bracket order. Then they'll go head-to-head, and then, of course, we have the MotoCar FITE Klub, our first ever. This is the inaugural A main. These guys will be out there 7 deep, battling out for supremacy. They wanted to do more and more laps the more time they spent in the car. They started off, it was going to be 10, then 15, now it's 20. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the night they're trying to get 30 laps out of these.
Yeah, that's right. Here's a great look at the crowd here tonight. It's awesome to see all these people show up. It's been a beautiful day today. Temperatures are great. Awesome to see all these fans turn up to see these guys do battle tonight out here in the dirt track at Travelers Rest Speedway.
So down there, they're still working on McGrath's car. The high drone gives you an idea of just how beautiful the facility is. We see the drivers, the car lights still around the facility as more and more people are still making their way in here. They wanted to be part of the action. This was one of the first events in 2021, and they have a nice crowd out here tonight. I think it's going to be a great, quick kickoff for the Travelers Rest Speedway in their 2021 schedule.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of that track over there on the left side of your screen, some of the motocross track where Eddie and Jessica, the owners of the Speedway, have hosted some races inside the infield here at Travelers Rest Speedway, in addition to the racing and the practice days they have on the outside of the Speedway. So just huge fans of racing. It's definitely something great to have here in this community, to have a facility like this that brings people in from all over the country for events such as the MotoCar FITE Klub.
They're sitting there waiting for McGrath right now, and I got to think the butterflies are about the size of condors in their belly right now. Anytime you sit and wait and you start to get a little bit of anxiety coming in, you start to think about what you're about to do, who you're about to go out there and battle with. And Carmichael's sitting there calm as a cucumber. A little bit of roost on the front of the number 4 car. You mentioned his lineup of sponsors right now. There's the Pro Circuit banner right now. I bet Mitch Payton and the rest of the crew probably back in the workshop right now, porting cylinders and just working like fiends, getting ready for Daytona.
Yeah, that's going to be a big event next on the Moto schedule for all of the guys. Yeah, you see how how they water the track. They did a great job prepping the track tonight. And then those guys got to get out there and break it in. So you see all that mud that came off from that. Kinetic Gaskets, a longtime sponsor for Carmichael. You see them on there also.
They're talking about some of these cars make you claustrophobic. You got to wear a harness device in there. You got the seat. They build the whole car around the seat. We had to match the cars up to the guy's height.
Yeah.
That's something that's pretty wild about this. It's not like you get in and hit the power seat button and slide up and push memory 1 for yourself.
Yeah, and it was neat, too, last night, while the guys were trying to learn each other and learn their communication and explain to each other what they were feeling. The car owners would get in there during some of those practice lap sessions yesterday, and, it would help with the communication of explaining how the car felt or what they needed to do. And the drivers, in a lot of cases, maybe didn't necessarily want to make the change. They wanted to know if it was them. So they put the aces in there, the guys that owned the cars who spun laps here at the Speedway before, and it would give them a chance to explain to them better what they needed to do or where they needed to be or how they needed to drive the car to help improve on their lap times.
We were talking to Eddie Ray, and every one of the cars that was featured here tonight has won a featured main event. And many of them, we understand, have won 10, 12, 25 of these main events. They race them a lot. They take care of them a lot. Every one of these cars went through new bodywork, new suspension, new brakes. They're working the bugs out of them right now. And Carmichael's car is set up pretty well, but Chad Reed's car, the hood's still off of it. They're down there. I see the scramble going on. And, JH, nobody knows better than you and I what these mechanics are going through right now. They are going crazy, thrashing, getting these cars ready to go out there and be raced.
Yeah, that's actually the two of Jeremy, whose hood is off the car still. Both ARMA drivers with their ARMA sponsorships, and Twos and the Tutu, big fans of each other. We had a chance last night. It was awesome. We heard a story of the first time a fan had a question about their favorite racing experiences each other in their moto days or any experiences they had, and it was cool to hear Chad Reed tell a story about the first time he got to race his idol over in Paris, France, and coming down to the end for a podium spot, and they took each other out, and Chad was the guy who cleaned them out and said it was a definite ego reducer for him to have the champ come over to him afterwards and explain what he thought the young kid might have done wrong in that environment.
Said he didn't exactly come over to him. He climbed over the bicycle wrench, came over into his pits, and served notice to him that you do not do that to Jeremy McGrath.
Yeah, and it was fun to reflect on that all these years later. They're both retired, obviously, now, and to be able to share that as a laugh last night, that was a cool part of the evening with the meet and greet last night.
Well, as they continue to thrash on the cars, they're lined up down there. We'll have these things fired up in just a moment for you race fans. And let's go back down to Lori. Lori, what do you got on pit road?
Thanks, guys. I have Mitchell Henderson here. He's going to give us a little insight on what's going on with Reed's car.
We've got a problem with the oil pan. It's got too much oil in it. Randall went to let some of the oil out of it, and he's burned his hands real, real bad, so y'all keep him in your prayers. He's gone to the hospital right now. Just something we run into that we didn't mean to, so just keep him in your prayer.
Yes, well, I'll say a quick little prayer for him, and we're going to go ahead and get this wrapped up really quick. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Lori, down there on pit road. She's talking on. Lori, you ought to get up in the cars and find out what's going on with the drivers. You know Carmichael's going to talk to you. You know that the 5 of Dungey's going to do it. The 99 of Christian's going to tell us what kind of butterflies are floating through his belly. And we'll find out exactly else what's going on. We see that Brayton's playing a coy over there. He's not getting fired up too early. He's not getting nervous. Let's go back down to Lori and find out if she's going to be able to talk to him. We'll get her down there. We got you, boys. We got you. The Butler Tire and Wheels cars lined up down there.
Still see the cars rolling in here.
Here's the other thing I've got to ask you, JH. With where we're at right now in the 2021 year, how many of these fans right now are going to be out at Travelers Rest literally each and every week watching great action here?
Yeah, I mean, with a facility as good as Travelers Rest Speedway here, it'd definitely be a fun place. We definitely want to come check out again. I hope we get a chance to come back ourselves.
Looks like they're buttoning up that car. Let's go back down on pit road. And Lori.
Thanks, Rob. We have Michael Barbary. He's the car owner for Justin's car. He's going to give us a little insight on what's going on over here.
I think they get ready to do some qualifying. They'll probably run 2 laps. Then that'll set where he's going to start out in the main event.
So do you feel like this is a quick fix, or we're just kind of waiting it out for right now?
I mean, qualifying makes a big difference, but he'll do good. He'll do good. Yeah.
We're hoping he does good. Back to you, Rob.
Thanks a lot, Lori, down there on pit road getting the action. We see the hood's bolted back on, And the number 2 car is starting to back in the spot right now.
Yeah, Jeremy's definitely he wins the furthest travel award, I think, coming all the way from California, hopping his flight out here. Was definitely excited to show up. It was fun to see him again. Haven't seen a lot of these guys in a long time with the environment that we're kind of currently under, so it was fun to see him and exchange some stories. And he was definitely excited to be here and jump in the car. You could see he was ear-to-ear grin, ready for the challenge. Jeremy was 89 wins. Just unprecedented career.
Well, here we go. We got cars on the track right now, and I'm sure the folks at home are excited about that. We've been with you for a little bit here. We're going to give you up to speed. There goes the 99. JH, tell us a bit about this individual.
Yeah, Christian Vande, a legend in his own right in the cycling world. 0 car racing experience, but a racer nonetheless. Been to 11 Tour de France's, 2-time Olympic team member. So Christian here, and a local boy, bases himself here in Greenville. So he's your hometown hero for tonight's race, and just looking to go out there and have some fun with these guys. He's been enjoying the experiences. He's a big fan of all the guys he's racing with, and they're a big fan of his as well. So it's been really fun, spending time getting to know everybody this weekend and trying new things. For him, brand new experience here as he backs it into the corner coming through 4.
And you hear that big V8 motor, about 405 horsepower these cars are making. You get a little push right there coming out of 2 down the back straight. Christian gets it straightened up, JH.
Yeah, it's hard to explain, but you have to understand somebody who's never been in this environment before to show up against this field with a guy and a driver who's got a lot of experience doing it, and have him explain as he takes the checkered flag in his qualifying lap, and then come in here and in front of this crowd tonight, go out there and do what he just did and make good laps around the track and get himself a qualifying time.
Solid technique. It looks like the number 4 Carmichael is going to be the next car out onto the track. We see Ricky down there getting all the gauges turned on, and he's engaged the transmission. He's out on the track. Carmichael didn't get the qualifying position he wanted, but you and I know this guy likes to play a little possum in qualifying. There's no money. There's no trophy for qualifying for him right now. He just wants to set the tone.
Yeah, that's right. You see him feeling the track out there as he gets out there in his Monster Energy number 4 Kinetic Gaskets Boxa USA Fox Racing Oakley car, making his way around here through 3 and 4. Finding the groove, trying to figure out where that's at. These guys haven't seen the track here a little bit. It's been broke in a little bit since then. He backs it into turn number 1. Here he comes. Leland and Deegan Jones on board on top of the car. You'll see their names there. Great family from New Jersey. Came all the way down here, did some motor riding in South Carolina while they came down, and here they are checking this out tonight. Here he is. Oh, man, that's so slick out there.
Carmichael gets it backed in, but he has to make an adjustment mid-corner right there. That's going to shave off a little speed. Now he's taking the high line around.
Yeah, there you go. He's on the white flag lap. He'll be coming to the checkers this next time around.
They'll set the brackets for us. Whoever sets fastest time in this gets a bye in the bracket race.
Yeah, here you go. And here he comes coming to the checkers. Looks much better. Made that adjustment coming through. And that was a good lap for Ricky Carmichael.
They're talking about speeds just in the high 90s as they head into turn 1. This television camera gives you the impression they're not going maybe quite as fast as they are, but about high 90s coming into turn 1. They flick it in there, and there's Ryan Dungey. He rented a track to get ready for this event.
Yeah, Ryan, he took this event really seriously. Not having much time in it, he wants to make sure he goes out there and shows well for his RD Coffee brand and the MotoStar group that sponsored his car for this weekend. And Ryan gets out there quick. You see, he's. I think there's probably a little bit of an advantage for these guys going a little bit later in this qualifying session as they're going to get out there and work in a groove. So we'll see if these times get faster and faster. Coming to the green flag right now.
He takes the green flag as he heads back into turn 1. In and out of 2. He got a little high right there. He had to scrub some speed off. JH, that's going to hurt him. This could push him a little farther back in the bracket.
Yeah, I think these guys are definitely, yesterday they spent a lot of laps in the car, but the groove seemed to be lower from what we saw in practice yesterday. And Eddie Ray, the track owner, let us know that probably wasn't going to be where the race line was tonight, although they spent a lot of time down there as Ryan goes through on his white flag lap. So it's probably an adjustment for these guys where their marks were. These guys are so tuned in to where hitting their marks on the track, and maybe it's a little bit different than it was last night when they were here during their practice session.
I think he comes out of 4 for the last time. There's the checkers for Ryan Dungey. Brian just wants to drive. He just wants to keep going, lap after. He wants this to be a 40, 45-minute race.
Yeah, and you can see it's good. You know, these guys, you can almost tell even to their second lap how much they're already starting to pick it up. They're such good quality racers. Their second lap is even already better than their first lap. Here we go. Brian Deegan, the number 38 Monster Energy Method wheels, and the LDC Army on board, helping bring his car to life here at Travelers Rest Speedway.
This is Deegan getting set up as he comes out of the turn down the back straight. He'll be in the 3 and 4. He'll get the green flag. He'll have a couple laps to lay down a fast lap. And Brian Deegan, the matriarch of the Deegan racing family, they're all here. Every Deegan, I think, is here.
Yeah, what a cool thing to be able to have a family event like this where, you know, the careers have been so focused on his daughter and his son's career, his daughter racing cars and stock cars, and his son and motorcycles and motocross racing. And, you know, that's the whole family's all in. You can tell, you know, their entire effort is towards that. And then here's Dad coming to the white flag. Now the role has been switched for this event, and you got Brian out there. Now they're here supporting him. It was really cool to see the whole family out here. Mom's here as well.
They were giving him heck about scrubbing off too much speed in the corner. We'll see where Deegan sets up after this as he's in the 3 coming out of 4 here. Down the front chute.
Again, that second lap, you can see these guys, you know, they're just picking it up. You know, this is going to be a great feature tonight in the main event, watching these guys as they're learning every lap. So I
want to see the head-to-head stuff. I want to see where these guys don't have to worry about the rearview mirror. They know right where that guy's at. And Deegan makes his way into the back into the infield area. It looks like either Jeremy McGrath or Chad Reed will be the next one to head out.
Yeah, it looks like we got MC, Jeremy McGrath.
It's going to be Reed, the 22 in the Arma car.
Oh, there's Reed on the screen. There's go. Reedy coming out. There you go. Chad's definitely one who's been embracing the fun aspect of this all weekend. He's got the whole family here. Wife, Ellie, 3 kids are all here, having a good time camping at the Speedway tonight. And last night, I mean, what a great family event. Again, you know, where he's been so focused on his kids' BMX racing. Coming to the green flag here. Now they are here, you know, Dad back in a race car supporting Dad tonight as he gets the chance to go out here and check out this track in the first time in qualifying, Trim.
We're in a bit of a soundproof room up here at the track. Oh, and Reedy's up on the wall, doesn't even lift.
Just keeps in the gas. That's Chad making it exciting for sure. Let's see what kind of damage we got here. No, that's a testament to these cars. They're tough. Doesn't seem like it's affected the handling at all. We'll see if he makes a little bit lower line here. Yep, he seems to have a better job here in that second lap.
Reedy up on the high line gets that thing almost Joey Chitwood style up on 2 wheels.
Yeah, Chad, the ever showman here. I'm sure he obviously didn't plan that event. These guys have been real conscious about wanting to take care of these cars for these guys tonight. And looks like, again, man, a great second lap. Might have just got a little outside that groove in that first lap.
I wish you folks that were here could hear these big V8s, 400 horsepower, screaming down open headers. These things just sound like, well, they sound amazing, and it's really fun to be out here and watch the smiles come out. Now, the 2 of Jeremy McGrath.
Aggressively taking the track for his lap, getting his tires cleaned off. And here he goes, coming through.
He's down the back straight here. He'll get the green flag as he comes out of 4 this time. McGrath, they've been working on his car. Looks like they've got that thing working pretty good.
Yeah, he's again, all these teams that have helped us out here. The Moog signs by Traps that have been helping get his car here, along with his personal Arma sponsors and Monster Energy. It's been really fun. Bound to backstrips. He's definitely racy tonight. Look at MC coming here through the corner. Great lap lined up, coming to the white flag.
He's got a good hot rod tonight. That thing sounds crisp now. They got some of the oil out of it, and certainly we hope that the crew member that burned his hands is going to be back with us before the end of the night. There goes the Arma number 2. Back into 3, now into 4. Gets that thing pointed back down the front straight, the crowd against the fence. And the checkered flag waves. We'll see if McGrath doesn't improve on his qualifying spot a bit.
Yeah, that was a really good lap. You can see MC's dialed in tonight. He's definitely been doing his homework and, again, working with his team, giving him the tips he needs to be successful here at the racetrack here at Travelers Rest.
Don't forget the number 1 qualifier gets a bye here in the head-to-head races. We'll have the Hornet races coming up almost immediately after this. And the little Hornet cars, the 4-cylinder front-wheel drive. And Justin Brayton in the qualifying practice session, JH lit it up with the fastest time of the night. I think Jason Wygant's going crazy down there because he picked him.
Yeah, well, I can't say that I'm surprised as well as he was adapting and getting quicker every time out. yesterday. But now we got to see if he can keep it under control, because patience is going to be the key here as the track comes in, coming to the green flag. You got to be patient. You don't want to then put too much pressure on yourself.
Looks like he might have got a little high on that groove there, had to lift for a minute. This might be a big change of pace, because McGrath and Carmichael and Deegan were also smooth. We're going to have the rundown when the bracket's set up. Gets it a little bit loose coming out of turn 4, on the front straight again.
Yeah, this is his last lap here. He's got a chance to make an improvement on his last area, see if he can find a better mark to get a better drive off the corner.
He's in the muck-off number 10 car, a big sponsor that came all the way from Australia with him.
There we go to the checker flag.
Oh, that V8 sounds good coming down the front straight.
And a good-looking car. That muck-off car looks great out there tonight.
Set up down there as well. They had a chance to do that. And we'll see how this sets up for the bracket racing coming up shortly. We've got, that's going to be a good one. I believe that with these drivers that have had this thing set up as they come through and finish it up, we're really going to have our first chance to go with what's going to be coming up with the Hornet qualifying. And these Hornet cars, we talked about them earlier. These guys, JH, they spend just a bit of money. How about the Dirt Monkey on the roof of that car right there? That's really solid right now in the number 10. He'll make his way back in, and we're going to wait for the Hornets to load the track up. Brayton's going to come back down, pull it into the infield pit area. And then we see our first Hornet showing up here. Looks like we got the number 1 machine down there.
Yeah, it's really good to see Dirt Monkey come on board and all these sponsors out there tonight coming on board to help us bring this whole show to life and supporting the Road to Recovery, which is a great charity of company that we have within our sport. It helps fallen riders. They've done a great job for years raising money to help with assistance with any rider who's got an issue, whether it's he needs something with his house or if he's had a bad injury. So there you go.
Hey, folks, just a little heads up. I need you to back up off the fence so folks in the stands can have a view. Terry, we've got Hornet cars coming up here shortly.
So here we go. Qualifying is in the books for these cars and our drivers, and we have our qualifying list starting in the 7th position. Christian Vande. And let's see, number 6, we have Ricky Carmichael in the number 4 car. Ryan Dungey qualified 5th. In 4th place, Justin Brayton, who was our fastest in the practice qualifying session. In 3rd position, we have Brian Deegan. Chad Reed, even though he clipped the wall, Chad comes in his 2nd lap, makes it in there to qualify 2nd position. And your fastest qualifier, Jeremy McGrath.
Let's go back down on pit wall. Lori, you got the quick one down there.
We've got Jeremy over here. You are the top qualifier. How did it feel there tonight?
You know, earlier the track was pretty slippery in practice, so I think we were all taking it easy, including myself. These guys have been working hard on the car. It's really nice. So I felt good out there. There's a lot of grip right now. I know these guys are all driving really good, so the track's going to have a lot of lines with a main. But most importantly, getting P1 in qualifying puts me on the inside front row for the start. So we'll see what we can do. Just got to try and hit my marks and pull away from these guys, show them how it's done.
Well, you heard it from the king. Back to you guys.
Well, thanks a lot, Lori. We got up here in the booth Terry Reeves. And Terry, these cars are the Hornets out there. And the Hornets mean 4 cylinders, and they mean a whole lot of fun, I believe.
Man, I'll go ahead and tell you now. I appreciate the opportunity to come out here. We got Justin, the Fast Harris out there, Ricky Downtown Hill. Bryson Lindsay, Jordan Hill, Chris Coggins, Danny Tollison, Chris Meadows, James Coggins, Tyler Capps, Cody Page, Troy Owensby, Josh Whitfield, and Dean Riddle that are out there tonight. And we're looking at the one car out there right now. That is Justin Harris. And I'm telling you, this guy right here, he bars no holds whatsoever. So it's awesome to see what these kids do. I say kids, I'm a little older than they are, but hey, they're racing backwards from what I raced back in the day.
Yeah, this is fun for us to watch as well. I can see a lot of the drivers down there, you know, they're checking out these guys as well to see if there's any tips they can learn from any of the local guys. They know all the tricks of the track. They know where the line is, where the groove's going to be, how it's going to shake in a bit. So this is going to be fun for us to watch these guys also.
Absolutely, because if you watch these guys in the front-wheel drive, they charge in just as hard as the rear-wheel drive cars, but they can make it turn some way, somehow, and it's amazing to see this.
Yeah, the talent level here tonight at Travelers Rest Speedway has really been impressive. You could tell early on during their warm-up session how fast these guys were going, too, on these little four-cylinder cars. It's crazy to me, you know, how much speed they get and how much speed they can carry through those corners.
Well, the whole thing here at Travelers Rest is that Eddie and Jess, they do such a great job keeping up the track, the hard work that's put into this. I mean, you can go to dirt tracks and you see them falling apart everywhere, but here we always seem to have a slick race surface. I'm not going to say that at some points that, yeah, there's times that it'll get rough. But when you watch these guys right here in the front-wheel drives, because you know the first thing that can happen is the axles will break off the front. Okay, so that's a little odd for everybody that's watched rear-wheel drive before. We call them front-wheel drive. I think y'all call them Hornets, maybe.
That's what we've been told they're called. We're learning as we go here, to be quite honest.
Okay, so I'm still learning, but our front-wheel drive, I mean, these guys right here, a lot of our guys that normally race here didn't show up because their cars are not ready at this point. It's early in the race season. But to see this in Travelers Rest, South Carolina, and to watch the crowds that have came in is beyond me.
Yeah, they've been lined up. It was cool to see the stands filling up again. Just in general, seeing fans in the stands is a great thing for any sport, especially motorsport right now. You know, nice outdoor venue here. We have an opportunity to kind of get people outside and getting back and doing the things that they enjoy. And it's for us, it's just been really pleasant to see, same as in the supercross season, getting fans back in the stands is something that we all want to have happen, and getting ourselves back to normal. These guys, man, look at how quick they get up to speed out there.
Oh, absolutely. And, I mean, you've got to watch these guys. We got a lot of fans that are complaining right now, and we're trying, guys. We're asking you to please back off the fence. Please back off the fence so that the folks that are in the seats can, so that they can see right now.
Yeah, it's good. We have a big crowd. We want to make sure everyone has an equal opportunity to enjoy the racing tonight. So
we have this a lot, though. We actually do. We have this a lot because, I mean, how many times can you see Ricky Carmichael, Jeremy McGrath, Chad Reed? How many times can you see this here in Travelers Rest, South Carolina?
Yeah, it's been fun to come here to this location and the spot that none of us have ever spent any time in, other than Christian, who's a local. Christian Medeville, obviously local here. He's kind of welcomed us in as the hometown guy. But we, and that's what makes it again special. You know, the fact that we get to race in front of a group of people that we traditionally wouldn't be at. You know, some of these people have traveled before to come see them race, but to come race now for us, come race in their backyard. I think it's a big reason why I've seen so many people turn out tonight.
Absolutely, and it's beyond me. It's absolutely great to see this crowd out here, and I understand. Everybody wants to be close to the action. We're looking out there right now. We're seeing the 77 of James Coggins. You want to see a guy that absolutely can make something happen. Watch the 77 car here tonight.
All right, that's a good tip to know. See, we're learning about all these guys, too, but something maybe these drivers, they were here for the first time and checking out. Got checkered flag out there, 25 car. Tell us about him.
I'm telling you right now, Josh Whitfield, the Whitfields have been in it for years and years. Absolutely. See him holding his hand out. I mean, he could drive a limited late model sportsman car with no issue. He has grew up with it all his life. Okay, so what's the best way to get into motorsports if you don't ride motorcycles, which a lot of these guys do, but if you don't ride motorcycles, what's the cheapest way to go? Right here, a front-wheel drive. Go buy you a Saturn, a Toyota, something of that nature. Throw some roll bars in it, and let's go racing. And so you look at Whitfield here, and hopefully we'll see this young man, Josh, we'll see him later in big cars.
Yeah, I mean, it's like in moto racing here, this is where it starts for a lot of these guys, where their career, they turn up on, local dirt tracks is where a lot of these guys come from. Clint Boyer, a good friend of all of our moto guys, grew up racing with a lot of the guys in the field tonight on the MotoCar FITE Klub group. And, he started in dirt late models and worked his way all the way up through to being one of the most successful NASCAR careers there was out there. Had a great career, recently retired now up in the TV booth, and it started a track just like this for him in Kansas, same situation. So your stars of tomorrow could be right here.
Hey, I want you to take a look up there in the stands. That's why people are standing down the fence. I think we're going to take a commercial break here. But that's the guy. Look at the stands. They are slam full. Everybody's wanting to take a look at this. So thank everybody for coming out to Travelers Rest Speedway. Live and look at the drone shot. JH, Rob Bitus, and JH Leal bringing you all the action. MotoCar FITE Klub, the inaugural event, Travelers Rest Speedway, Travelers Rest, South Carolina. And JH, so far, we've had a chance to see the Hornet cars go out there and buzz around a little bit. We had an opportunity to see the 7 fastest two-wheelers take on this 4-wheel hot rod stock car environment, and they are doing an incredible job. They've set the field. Guess how this one's going to stack up when we get to the elimination. The first battle we're going to see, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the first battle, based on qualifying time. So what we did here is we just had a qualifying session, and we had set the field. So the fastest qualifier was Jeremy McGrath, so he gets a bye for the first round. So we're going to see Ryan Dungey and Justin Brayton duke it out in a head-to-head battle to see who's going to face off and move on to the winner of the 7-team single elimination challenge. Then we have Brian Deegan versus Ricky Carmichael in a head-to-head.
Is this 1997 LA Coliseum?
Well, that didn't. What was the year that? Oh no, we learned about it last night when Ricky landed on him in the race. So we hope that doesn't happen here tonight. We're going to try to keep those guys apart.
No, 97. RC starts on the west, finishes on the east, does a great job. Deegan ghost rides his bike across the thing, and Sebastian Tortelli was the other winner that night in the 250 class. Talk about a shakeup at the LA Coliseum.
Yeah.
And then we go down here.
Yep, we have Chad Reed and Christian Vande. Tons of respect those guys have for each other, so it'll be fun to watch them go out there and actually do battle in an environment that's completely unfamiliar to both of them here in a dirt late model car here at Travelers Rest Speedway.
And guess who got the bye based on the fastest time? And JH, just as we just talked about, Christian Vande, 7 quickest, nothing changes there. He's running a 23.6 second lap time. Then you jump up to Ricky Carmichael, 21.4. Ryan Dungey, 21.2. Justin Brayton slides from the number 1 spot all the way back to 4. Brian Deegan turns in the third quickest lap time. Chad Reed, after banking off the high wall out there, almost putting it up on 2 wheels. And our fastest qualifier now, Jeremy McGrath, puts in a first one to bust out of the 20s with a 19.966.
Yeah, and I'm really curious, what Chad's, I think Chad then obviously may not have showed us all he's got being second fastest with that first lap. We had that little mishap. I bet you he was on his heels a little bit. So I bet you he's got a little bit more to show tonight. Maybe said, maybe make sure I didn't, mess something up coming for that second lap and make sure he got a good time, and yet still landed in second spot. So to me, that's one of the guys that I'm going to be looking at here tonight, curious to see how he's going to do, because he clearly had a fast lap, yet with an incident, the only incident of qualifying, kind of tapping the wall there on his first lap.
What I understand is this is going to be head-to-head. They'll get the green-white checkers. The winner stays. The loser's out. Somebody else joins them. They pace it up, and boom, they do it again. Somebody may have to go through the entire field to win this if they win the first heat. And the first heat of the night is going to be Dungey Brayton. We're going to see which one of them has the we know that we know that these guys love having that kind of pressure. But we're going to see who has the dirt monkey on their roof, and it's going to be Brayton right now.
Yeah, and Brayton, again, interesting storylines here. Brayton was fastest in our qualifying practice, the first one. So now, he's slipped a little bit. Didn't seem maybe as comfortable as he did in that first one, or maybe the other guys were laying back, saving something for the real qualifying session. I don't know, but it's going to be really interesting to see here tonight, how these guys get out there and mix it up in the fact that they were all over the place. So.
We always got some interesting people that are hanging around. Let's go back down with Lori. Who you have on pit row, Lori?
We have Haley Deegan here, the expert. So seeing how the track is shaping up, what do you feel like is going to be the most complicated?
Oh, man, I think it's going to slick off in the middle a little bit, so I think it's going to be a matter of just holding the bottom or ripping the top.
What's the best advice you gave your father?
To not go so wide on entries is wasting time. Got to make the track smaller.
So how do you think you would shape up against these guys?
I don't know. I feel like it would be a little unfair because I've practiced here before, so it might be a little advantage, but I think they're doing pretty good. It's pretty fun to watch.
I don't know about you, but I would root for you any day, all day. My bets are on you. Okay, so now I have to ask you the hard question. Who do you got for the win?
I mean, obviously it would be nice to see my dad win, but I think we could work on some line, maybe a couple changes to the car, and we could be up there in the front.
Okay, you heard it from Haley, the pro here. Now it's back to you, Rob.
Thanks a lot, Lori. Down there on the pit road, the whole Deegan family, JH. Truck car they're racing trucks right now, and you know that she's going to be in an Infinity Cup real soon, and then pretty soon we're going to see her out there, and she's going to be driving a proper Cup car.
Yeah, Haley's legit. She's got a ton of talent. There's no doubt about that. She's been proving herself time after time in every level she's raced at, working her way up the ranks. And it's really cool that she's got such a supportive family. That's a big part of what makes racing successful at any level, is seeing the support you have from your family, and that's what makes it so special for the Deegan family. And the fact that the Deegan family has to split their time between, you got Haley, who's on one path and one trajectory in the car racing, and then you have her younger brother, who is very successful, one of the top amateurs in the country for motocross racing. And so, what a strain on the family. You got different racing going on at different times in different parts of the country. It's, a ton to keep up logistically. I can't imagine what it's like, keeping up with all those travel schedules that they have to deal with.
Well, they deal with the travel schedules, and they deal with all the competitiveness that must go through that house. I got to think that who's cutting the grass, who's shoveling the driveway, who's doing it all. They made the big move from California. They're basing themselves right out here in the heart of it all, and I think that's going to pay dividends for her for quite a while to come.
Yeah, racing in general, it's amazing how much out here on the East Coast racing has really been transitioning. You're seeing a lot of the Moto teams are moving out to Florida. You're seeing their companies that are moving out to Georgia. You got the Deegans based themselves here. The majority of the riders now for motocross, supercross are based in Florida, between Florida and Georgia. So no different whatsoever for the car racing families.
Well, we look down on the track right now. We see the bunch of the feverish activity down there as they're starting to get the cars ready to go. They're going to be in the elimination head-to-head matches. And right now, here we are, everybody. We hope everybody that's at home is enjoying what's going on. I'm Rob Bitus. This is J.H. Leo. And J.H., you and I have been traveling the world together for probably about 25 years. This is our first time ever calling a television show race. Nice job, by the way, so far.
Man, I don't know. I'm literally just winging it. Hopefully the fans are enjoying it back at home, trying to give as much insight as we can. You know, having spent all day with these guys yesterday and going through the process of them learning about the cars and dirt late model racing for guys who haven't done it before in the field, which is the majority of them, and for sure not in these type of cars, and for sure none of them have ever been to the Speedway before. So, yeah, we're just out here trying to help do the best job we can and provide a good show for you guys back at home. We hope you're enjoying it on FITE TV. It was an awesome opportunity for us to come do it. As you see the facility here at Travelers Rest in South Carolina. You know, it all came about, you know, as a neat idea. And we definitely, you know, all work together to kind of pull this whole event together. So it's fun to be up here in the booth with you.
Well, what we should do right now is find out what's going through the drivers' minds. Let's go down once again on pit road. Lori, what do you have down there for us?
Thanks, guys. We have Chad Reed down here. How's the car feeling? How's things shaping up?
Yeah, it's feeling good, and we actually got into the wall off too, and I actually think it was a positive thing because I was struggling yesterday with the same thing, and sounds like these guys now are looking it over and maybe found an issue that was already there. So when you feel like you're going left and the car wants to go right, makes it challenging. But man, what a blast! It was so so much fun, and I'm probably more than anything, I'm so happy to have Jeremy and I are both owners of Armor and have an Armor lockout. Armor Sport, so yeah, super excited to see how the night plays out, how the track changes, how you have to drive differently. We're all going to evolve as the night goes on, so I think by the main events it should be we'll be all firing on all cylinders.
What's the best advice you got from your trainers that you're implementing in tonight's race?
Just more than anything, I mean, car racing is obviously just about understanding the balance of the race car and just, yeah, like I've never experienced or driven anything like this. All my previous experiences all being on pavement, so very different. But fortunately, I've been on dirt since I was 3.5 years old. So visually, I can see it, I can understand it, see the line. Getting there is not always as easy as you think, but yeah, no. As the laps burn on, I start to understand it a little more and having a little more fun.
Thanks for giving us this time tonight, Chad. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Lori. JH, we talked about the perfect weather down there, so the track is holding up very well tonight. They put a lot of water on it. They ran it in. That has got the track really racy, as you talk about. If you see the lines here from the drone, you see just where turn 3, you want to keep it a little bit low, and they start to drift up, come back. They really have this track down low and up high. There's good racing lines everywhere.
Yeah, there are, and that's what Eddie told us yesterday, the track owner, Eddie, right here. He explained to us and let everyone know, the drivers know, as they were getting lower and lower and finding that low groove. He told us, hey, guys, that's not going to be like that tomorrow night. It's going to be different. It's going to be a wider groove. We're going to have more opportunities. So they've definitely done their homework here in the track. The weather's cooperated, so we're definitely shaping up for an exciting night of racing here.
Well, everybody's just about in the stadium right now, and they've got it packed up down there on the pit road. And what we're going to do is let's take a commercial break. And when we come back, we'll have these machines fired up. We'll have the drivers strapped in, ready to go. And we'll be back with more here from Travelers Rest Speedway in just a moment.
Love your shoes.
Thanks. They're wrapped in Michelin.
Big drone coverage once again. I understand we're just about 2 minutes away from having these cars fired up, Eddie Ray and these guys, and they're down there right now scrambling, getting these things ready. We see Gary Ports climbed into the pace truck down there. He has his lights on. We had a chance to talk with Lori Steve, talked to Chad Reed, had a chance to talk to Haley Deegan. And, man, Trevor Baines was down there hanging out. You know, when he comes out to a race, he must think there's some big entertainment going on.
Yeah, Trevor's a great guy. Trevor, part of our extended racing family. Ricky actually and Trevor raced quite a bit back in their early days of racing. They got to race the Toyota Challenge in Irwindale Speedway early on in their Ricky and Trevor's racing career. And then just a couple years later, Trevor's sitting on top of the box at Daytona International Speedway as a Daytona 500 champion. So great career Trevor had. So that was really cool. And he's become good friends with a lot of moto guys as he's a big fan of all the motocross guys. So he came down to support all of his friends here tonight. Him and Ryan exchanging notes on their coffee brands. So that was fun to hear their conversation earlier today.
Now, Dungey said he was bringing us some coffee down here, so I was kind of waiting for that, a couple bags of the RD5 coffee to show up.
You might
Did you get yours?
I didn't. You might have missed it because he gave it out at the drivers' meeting. He gave to all the drivers. If you weren't there, you might have missed it.
Wasn't a driver. We were just the announcers, so we didn't get any.
Oh.
We'll have to remember that come Christmas.
I think there was a few more left in the box, so I think we can get in there and get some.
We're going to sneak some. Folks are down there against the fence, so we hope that you all enjoy what you're seeing. I know the folks in the crowd are enjoying seeing it as well. Maybe you guys could all grab a seat down there. We're getting the cars lined up, and the very first one that we're going to see, I believe, is going to be Dungey and Brayton, and I believe Gary Port is getting ready to bring them out onto the track.
Yeah, so what's going to happen here, we're going to bring these guys out for their head-to-head. They're going to come around. They're going to take the green flag. Then they're going to come around, and there'll be a lap, and then the white flag, I believe, and then the checker, I believe, is how they're going to do this here tonight.
And then the winner stays, the loser's out. They load them back up, and we get it done again. We've got head-to-head, and then we've got another one of the Hornet races, and then the A-Main coming up after we get done with the Hornet ones. Here comes Dungey and Brayton out on the track. JH, this is our first time seeing cars go head-to-head in the big V8 class all day today.
Yeah, and you got, a couple interesting storylines here. Dungey's been extremely consistent all day in both qualifying sessions. Brayton was fastest, but then not as fast in the second one, so it's going to be curious to see how these guys line up. Their time in qualifying and who was fastest, let them pick whether they wanted the inside or the outside for this qualifying. So the faster qualifier got to pick if he wanted to be down low or up high.
Dungey and Brayton head-to-head down the back straight. The pace truck will drop off. These riders, look at Dungey's getting up there right next to his door panel. These guys are looking at each other in the eye as they're going to come and done.
And these are two guys in the field of guys that actually still have raced against each other. These guys have actually competed, somewhat recently. Ryan, a recent retiree, Justin's still racing. So these guys are not unfamiliar with going head-to-head with each other on a racetrack. So now, since Brayton is the fastest, he gets to set the start as they come around. Brayton will come around, and he'll be able to dictate the start of this race.
One more lap, and these riders, I believe Gary Port from the Butler Tire pace vehicle will pull that machine in. Dungey and Brayton are looking at each other through the eye. These drivers out here continuing to do a great job.
It's hard for us to get that driver's
out of drivers and riders.
I mean, technically they're still riders, but they're driving tonight. So.
But we're very enthusiastic, so that'll be good for us.
That's right. Here we go. Pace truck coming off the Butler pace truck. Tires and wheels truck coming off the track. Brayton on the inside. You got Ryan Dungey in the number 5 on the RD Coffee ride on the outside.
They got to wait for that green. They can't jump. If they do, they have to go back in single file stagger if somebody jumps. Side by side, the R's come up. Brayton jumps out to a really small lead. Dungey's going to try to go the high line around 9. Dives back down the inside.
Great driving by Dungey there. You can see where he's trying to set up that inside. It's tough, though, because that groove, I think, is still kind of not quite as wide as he was hoping to get that drive off the corner he was hoping for.
Dungey gets a little sideways, and that's going to drop him a car or two back from Brayton as Brayton holds that good high line right now. He gets the number 10 muck-off machine coming back down, and Dungey starts to lose touch with the leaders here in his first race of the night.
Yeah, Brayton doing a good job keeping a nice consistent line. You can see Dungey definitely getting faster in that second lap, but it was too little too late. Brayton for sure had the good line coming off of that corner, and he's got a good lead open up here. He's just got to bring it home. Nice and easy here as he tiptoes through the last two corners, coming to the checkered flag. Oh, got a little high.
Is that enough? Did he get it turned? Here he comes. Checker flag. Brayton stays on. And that's going to be the first one for Ryan Dungey. That'll slide him back into the qualifying lineup.
Yep, and
as they'll get ready for that A main coming up later.
Yeah, the Dirt Monkey muck-off ride there, number 10, Justin Brayton. Again, now back to the top in a head-to-head race. Fastest in qualifying, slipped a little in his second qualifying practice, and now he won his first head-to-head. Here we go. Next head-to-head battle we got coming out in the track. So they're loading the gate. You got Brian Deegan in the 38 and Ricky Carmichael in the Monster Energy number 4 car. So same format here again. Deegan was faster in qualifying, so Deegan's elected to take the inside here. He had the choice, Rob, of the inside or the outside. He elected to take the inside, try to control this race. So Brian now on the inside. He was going to try to hope to mimic what he saw. I'm sure they were watching as best they could from their cars what Justin did in that last head-to-head, trying to learn what they can learn.
A couple of the monster teams, and Dave Gowan and the boys got to be pretty excited to see so much green and black out on the track at the same time. They got to be bummed, though, because one of them's going to be out here in just a moment.
Yeah, well, that's stack the deck. You got 2 cars in. One's going to go on for sure. So we'll see what these guys got. Ricky and Ryan again, and Brian, have raced like Ryan and Justin did. They've raced themselves before, back early on their career. So some of the elder statesmen here tonight. So this should be good. Hopefully, picking up where some of their former racing time.
They're side by side right now. I believe next time around they'll get the green, and we'll see who gets the jump. Deegan down there has the advantage of having his whole entire racing family there. Carmichael shows up with you, and you're hanging out with me all day. He doesn't have any support down there right now.
Yeah, Ricky's good. He's got some good experience in a dirt late model, so I think he's got under control. There's not a whole lot I think I could have told him tonight that's going to make him go any faster.
Is that little bit of orange an homage to the luckiest color he ever raced in?
Yeah, actually, that you say that should be that's pretty cool that you say that.
Here we go, head to head. They come out of 4. Deegan's on the inside. I hear the V8s open up. Does Carmichael get the whole shot on him? Deegan jumps out in front of him by a car length. Carmichael comes up the inside on him.
Ricky trying that same strategy that Ryan did, able to stay a little bit lower, initiated that corner a little bit sooner than Ryan did, so he's able to stay in there a little bit tighter. And here he goes to the inside.
Carmichael is a racer through and through, trying to work the long line. Look at him working that steering wheel in the car. Deegan has it by an advantage right now, but can Carmichael come back up the inside?
Yeah, that 3 and 4 seems tricky. It doesn't seem like the groove's quite as wide, so Ricky, where that low line was working yesterday in practice, seems like the groove's a little bit higher. Brian got a better drive off that corner coming down the front stretch.
Haley Deegan told him not to throw it in so deep. He's scrubbing off too much. There's the white flag. And Deegan by about a 2 or 3 car advantage right now over Carmichael. But you never count the goat out.
No, for sure not. Definitely in these conditions, track's definitely a little bit slick. Again, these guys haven't had a whole lot of time in these cars. So at one point, they're trying to get themselves ready for the feature later. But yet they're also trying to win this head-to-head checkered flag. And Deegan takes the win in the head-to-head.
Takes that one over Carmichael, so that'll give Carmichael time to get ready for that A main. And you know him, he'll be watching the track, he'll be finding a little different line he didn't see this time. There's only been 2 of these head-to-head matches, so this is the first time these riders have actually taken a green flag where they've battled somebody. Practice has been the only time where they've been out there with other cars.
Yeah, and trying to be conscious here. These aren't their cars. As everyone knows, we got to thank these car owners for lending us their support and letting us all have this fun night of racing tonight. So conscious of not getting too close. Don't want to bang, get too crazy, especially early on and trying to figure out how to drive them. So that's definitely, been on their minds. But now you can see that it's definitely getting a little bit racier. So out on the track, it looks like we have one of the ARMA cars.
See what happens with the number 2 machine. We see McGrath, but the next battle should be Chad Reed and Christian down there. We see, because McGrath has already been seeded into the next round, we have one more battle between Chad Reed and Christian Vande, who's out on the track right now as we see the
Justin Brayton's out there on the track.
NASCAR has or stock car has a couple different rules than you and I are used to, so we'll just go with the flow. If Brayton's out there, he's just warming up his tires, I think.
Yeah, it looks.
We were
looks
talking
like
to
it.
the guys the other day. They said these tires get hot out there on the dirt. That's something you didn't expect.
No, and the size of them too. You know, you see some of these dirt late models, they have those big rear tires. These cars don't. So it's definitely, you know, in these conditions, it's definitely a handle to drive. You can see how much these guys were working the wheel yesterday coming through the corners. So, you know, it's definitely a challenge for them to kind of pick this up and learn this craft of dirt late model racing with such a short time. I think they've waved Justin off the track, and I see looks like they're getting ready to line up the next bracket should be Chad Reed and Christian Vande. They should be next here in line.
The 22 and the 99, and we talked about Christian before being the bicycle racer, but he brings Peterbilt to the table when he comes. Talk about bringing a big outside the industry sponsor in.
Yeah, it's really cool to see, you know, not just the local guys, but then the sponsors, you know, the fans of these guys like Peterbilt, you know, come on board to help out and, you know, make this whole night happen for everyone, including, you know, the fans out here, which is great to see you guys in the stands. It's awesome just to have motorsports getting back to normal and having a fun night of racing.
So we wait now for the next cars to get fired up and jump in the line, and I believe, again, it's going to be Chad Reed and Christian, and they'll be coming up the 99 and the 22. Once we have that field set, Jeremy McGrath will take on Brayton. Deegan will take on the winner of Reed and Christian. The winner of the next bracket will move on, and then we'll crown the winner of head-to-head racing here. Travelers Rest Speedway, and it looks like the number 22 is starting to get backed up out there.
Yeah, he made mention after his qualifying that he thought there might have been something that wasn't quite right with the steering of his car. I think maybe they found that, and they gave him a little bit extra time to work on it and get that thing straight, because obviously those guys don't want him turning right up into the guardrail anymore if they can help it. So hopefully they gave him a little bit of time to get that thing straightened out. He was second fastest in qualifying. So if Chad fixes that car, if he's more comfortable with the steering on it, I can only imagine how fast he's going to be in the feature later on. So we got to see him out here with Christian Vande for our next bracket.
You know, one of the things that Chad's going to do that's unique, I have a feeling he's going to try to drill this start and just drive away. You know him. He wants to get some clear air. He wants to look at the track. Maybe there's a chance he might overdrive this one a little bit, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing you gotta manage. Is, you know, controlling that emotion when you're going out here, when you're ramping up in your race pace. Practice was one thing earlier in the warm-up, qualifying was another, but now you're racing head-to-head. You want to put on a good show for sure, but you also don't want to overdrive it. You know, these guys are taking this opportunity to set their cars up and get a feel to see where the groove is at and see where that line is going to be for the feature later on tonight in their main event race. So that's all playing in their head, and you know he's going to want to get a really good racy feel for it so he knows what he's got for that main event later on this evening.
Christian Vande grew up in Illinois at doing a lot of velodrome racing on his bicycle, and he was used to that flat land out there and the big high banks. We'll see if these high banks don't treat him well.
Yeah, and a lot of people ask, how did Christian get involved in this event? Ricky takes his Peloton class. He's a huge Peloton instructor for the Peloton group, and Ricky takes his class, and they became friends as we come to the green flag here.
There goes Reed jumping out to that advantage. Like we said, can he keep the machine down? Because Christian's very technical in the car. He doesn't make mistakes. He might not quite have the same lap times, but he's not going to make a big error. And down the back straight, Reed opens up a lead already.
Yeah, you can see Chad here. He's definitely trying to find that groove, learn as much as he can about the track. He's a racer through and through from his motocross, supercross days, and he's going to want to learn as much as he can in these couple of laps, because that's going to be information he's going to store away for that main event. Christian coming through 1 and 2. Definitely getting faster every time he was out on the track, too, tonight. That's, again, it's hard to explain how difficult it is to come into this environment when he's had zero experience in a car, in a dirt late model, and yet he's able to get out there and actually show well and get faster every time. It's definitely been a steep learning curve for him, but he's done a great job all weekend here just getting it figured out. And, unfortunately, had a car break yesterday, so he even got limited time, less time, more limited because of an issue they had with the car yesterday. So he got even less laps than these other guys did. And as we come to the checker flag,
Chad Reed's going to take the checker flag, and he's going to have the biggest win margin of the event so far. Vande comes across the line in number 2 spot, but he'll be in that A main. He'll be starting in the final position of that, and we have the field set now. Jeremy McGrath now is going to enter the competition, if you will. He had that bye because the last time he was out, JH, the first rider to break out of 20 seconds, a 19.996. He did it by 4/10,000ths of a second, but it was enough to give him the bye in that first round.
Yeah, Jeremy, yesterday, you could see he spent a lot of time with the owner of that car. The owner of that car, local racer, even got into the car at one point in between one of Jeremy's practice sessions and helped him kind of understand how the car should be set up, how to make it turn, and gave him a lot of instruction. You know, Jeremy, of course, with all of his years of racing and experience, he definitely, took that and built on it every time he went out there. And obviously then, as he's continuing to get faster and faster here tonight, went out there to put that thing on top of the box in qualifying. And here we see him with Justin Brayton in the muck-off Dirt Monkey car. So this is going to be good now. Now, Brayton was your fastest qualifier in the first session tonight, and now he's against the fastest qualifier in our second session tonight.
Well, the first session was kind of more of a practice session. I think they got the lap times. Everybody was really close. The next time the track was a bit more racy, as you said, and McGrath was able to get going. Now, he's had some difficulty with consistency, and Brayton just keeps getting faster. So let's see what Jeremy McGrath can do with Brayton, the 2 on the 10.
Justin Brayton's team owner, Yariv, on his motocross super team, his team has checked in with us tonight. He's at home watching, so it's cool to see the muck-off sponsorship that he brought to Supercross and Motocross find its way here to a dirt late model car in Travelers Rest, South Carolina. So it's fun to see all the Moto family who's been checking it out and tuning in to see how these guys are going to do. There's definitely a ton of interest out there on the pay-per-view on Fight TV. So it's really, really, really a fun opportunity for these guys to get out there and compete in a different level, in a different type of racing. So that's been really fun. And we're going to get ready to come here to the green flag. The Butler Tire truck is off the track.
MC gets a jump, but isn't enough. Brayton's trying to outmotor him.
Oh, they touch.
The first touch of the weekend, and that's exactly what it was, just a touch. No one lifts. No one gets off the gas, and now we're starting to see what some of the fastest qualifiers of the evening bring to the table.
Jeremy working that midline. Brayton definitely down lower in that corner, trying to bring that lower line back into play here that they were so familiar with last night during their practice session. But the groove, definitely the fast line is for sure in the middle of the track right now. Jeremy has control of it.
Here comes Brayton trying to run it up the inside.
Oh, diving in hard, but he moves up a little bit, trying to find a different line to gain some track position on him as they come to the white flag. Jeremy for sure has got his car dialed in. He looks great. He's super smooth around the entire corner. Justin breaks out of his corner a little bit there, gives up some ground, unfortunately.
Looks like he's opening up the lead. And Jeremy McGrath, the first touch of the afternoon. And as we get going, this is Jeremy McGrath takes the win. He was seated with the bye after being the quickest, the first one out of the 20s. And Jeremy McGrath is able to go on the Moog Designs by Traps car. Arma backs him as well. And, man, that's going to be a good one. So MC moves on to the bracket. Deegan and Reed have to battle next. I think that's going to be a really good one because, Chad Reed, he is going to try to come in so hot on Deegan. They might just lock up around any one of these corners.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm going to see. I think Brian's going to be elect to be on the inside, I believe. Or no, actually, it should be Chad's choice, I believe, because he was faster qualifier than Brian. So that should be Chad's choice to elect to the inside. Has obviously been the line to go to with the bracket racing here. This definitely seemed to be in the advantage for these guys. Here you go, Brian Deegan working his way out to the track. And the Monster Energy Method tire and wheel ride, number 38. The entire Deegan family here tonight supporting Dad. So Chad is now on the track in his 22 Arma car. But this is interesting because again, the fastest guy so far, or in every head-to-head, the inside guy has had the advantage.
Well, Deegan knows what he's doing, and Reedy's going to try to take a little bit of the longer way around. Now, they tell us it's a 3/8 mile course if you go low. It's a half-mile track if you go high. It's a big wide corners in each one of these.
Yep, Haley let us know he's giving up too much track when he was up there too high, so he'll make the track shorter. So let's see if he listened to his daughter. They were only 1/10 apart in their second qualifying session, so these two are pretty evenly matched, so this should be a good head-to-head battle.
Looks like one more lap as the Butler Tire car pace truck stays out there. Gary Ford pacing the drivers around. These two are, I think these guys are talking right now.
Yeah, they've had a good time, getting the cars dialed in and comparing notes. Everyone was definitely more friendly yesterday during the practice qualifying, trying to figure it all out. I can promise you that these guys, as much as they're here to have fun, they're not sharing as many notes today as they were yesterday as they're trying to get their cars dialed in.
Well, the Butler pace truck pulls into the infield area. Here they come. Out of 4, will they get the green flag this time down? Reed and Deegan side by side. I think Deegan tries to take Reed out a little wide in that thing. That's a little half-car advantage.
Oh, see, now Chad's definitely been picking up because he's gotten the best drive now while trying to set up and figure out that inside on how to not lose that track position early on in these head-to-head qualifiers.
Reed back down to the inside of Deegan. Deegan shuts the door coming out of 4. Down the front straight they go. Brian Deegan now with a car length and a half advantage. Monster over Arma right now.
Chad's definitely got a lot of good car control. You can tell there he's doing a good job of managing that car through the corner. Whatever that issue was they had early on in qualifying, they seem to have it fixed because he is definitely driving well here, coming to the white flag.
These are head-to-head. There's getting all these motocross, supercross, and bicycle legends up to speed in these race cars as they battle. They got the A main coming up after the Hornets main event, and this will be all the drivers on the track going forward. And Reed's not done. Reed is not done. Does he push Deegan into a mistake? Brian Deegan takes the checkered in head-to-head racing. Brian Deegan will square off with the number 2 of Jeremy McGrath.
Thumbs up from the boys there. Good friendly competition. That was cool to see those guys communicating there through their thumbs up. There's no communication in these cars, just for all you watching at home who might be asking. The only communication they have is with race control for letting them know if there's going to be a spin out or what we're doing coming to the green flag, or so they kind of know where they're at on the track with regards to whatever racing we're going to be doing tonight. So otherwise, there's no communication.
No spotters, nothing like that. This is old school. This is, taking it back to the grassroots of it all. We wanted to get all of them down here, and you see they got a rear view mirror on them. That's as much information as they can gather up.
And they're all in Hans devices, in cars and good Butler seat cars with the wraparound on the side. So their vision is extremely limited. That was one of the things they all mentioned about, a lot of them have had some time in a car before strapped in. That's not been the issue. The issue is trying to figure out, how the track works, how the other cars are around you, and getting a feel for that. They have a good feel just in general from racing, but this is a different kind of racing, and you don't exactly know, how far out your car is sticking or how much it's swinging around. So they're definitely learning as they go here. And you can see Jeremy's car, and Brian just looped around. He's getting himself set up. Here's our final for the single elimination challenge.
This will be the first feather in somebody's cap tonight. I think it was when Brayton set fastest time, then McGrath set fastest time in single qualification. Now it's MC against Deegan. Somebody's going to have the first feather in their cap, but that is still not the A main. We're going to see all 7 of these cars out there at one time. Now, I believe it was in the Daytona 500 this year. After the first big wreck, they were down to 16, right?
Yeah, something like that. It was.
So we're down to right around that kind of level right now, and we're well into this. There goes the 38 and the 2 as they take the track. This is, again, another monster on Arma, and Deegan takes the inside. Now, how did he get the inside over McGrath right now? MC, give it to him?
So they had a coin flip is what they did for the final here. Deegan won the coin flip, so it's his call to elect to take the inside. So they did it by a coin flip here when they get to the final race.
Jeremy's going to drop back. I think that's going to force the Butler truck out there a little farther. Here he comes gathering it back up. The 2 and the 38. Jeremy McGrath and Brian Deegan, two guys that have raced each other, I don't know how many times in off-road trucks, but a plenty. And I think they probably have a pretty similar win-to-loss ratio against each other. So this is going to kind of be the tiebreaker for them. I think somebody that comes out of this one is going to have that. We see that in the back of the pace truck right now, we're getting that Butler Tire audio or video feed that's coming up, and this is what it looks like.
Yeah, you can see how the track, it's still, slick. There's a groove working in. There's a great shot there. You're able to see where the line's starting to develop for these guys. And every lap that goes around where these guys are down low, where they're trying to make that low line work, that's going to start bringing that lower line in a little bit, widening the groove here for our feature tonight. Plus, we got the Hornets coming up again, another race you'll see here tonight with the front-wheel drive, 4-cylinder cars. So that's going to help with the groove as well. And here we come to green flag.
See who gets the jump, and it's going to be Deegan. Deegan by, and MC touches the back corner once again. Here he comes up the inside. This is the first time we've had a real battle for the lead. Door to door, down the back straight, and McGrath pushes Deegan wide.
That was a great drive. He got off at 2.
Oh, and he loses the drive right there, staying on the low line, and Deegan opens up a 3-car length advantage.
You can see Brian, he's a smart racer there. He was leaning on not giving him a chance to come up the track at all and get into that traction spot where he was at. Hung in low, taking that advice from his daughter Haley about shortening the track and not giving Jeremy much room. But here comes Jeremy. Look, he's coming in here again and get a little bit more traction. Great drive off the corner, coming to the white flag.
You hear those V8s opened up. 16 cylinders, pistons, camshafts, all exploding right down the back straight right now. Screaming to see who wants to be out front, and it's the 38 of Deegan again.
Jeremy's keeping him honest here, keeping that pressure on, hoping to force him into a mistake, but Brian has an excellent exit from that corner.
And the checkered flag goes to the number 38 of Brian Deegan. Oh, this is going to be a great interview for Lori as she gets Deegan down there on the track. McGrath pulls up alongside. I'm sure there'll be a hand wave and a NASCAR hook 'em horn style hand gesture as they go.
So Deegan overcame the second fastest qualifier and now the fastest qualifier to win the head-to-head. So he is definitely getting faster and finding some things here with his car that are helping him, with this performance here so far tonight. This is really interesting because he has definitely been picking up the paces every time we've gone out on the track.
Every time he gets faster and faster. That's going to wrap it up for the head-to-head competition. We're going to get a word with Brian Deegan, and when we come back after this interview, we're going to have our Hornets out there. Terry Reeves will be taking us through that as they get ready for their big main event. And then JH, we're going to have that A main coming up just a little bit later, and that is truly going to determine who is the baddest dude here tonight.
Yeah, so many storylines are developing here with qualifying, how these guys are mixing up their position. We've had the fastest go to the middle. We've had the third fastest guy beat the first and second fastest guy in qualifying. So we're definitely, have a lot going on here. And plus, I don't think for a second that Ricky and Dungey are done yet.
And Brayton.
And 100% for Brayton for sure.
And MC.
They're not done, but those guys who maybe didn't win these head-to-head brackets.
And Chad Reed.
There's a 20-lap main event coming. Saving your cars, that's the one you want to win. This elimination's cool, but you want to win the big event at the end of the night.
You know what I think is going to happen? I think they're going to go for 20, and I don't think these guys are going to stop. I think we're going to have a 500-lap main event. They're just going to stay out there till these things are out of gas. The Hoosier tires on the car has been hooking them up tonight. We want to give a shout-out to them. Eddie made the call, and Hoosier stepped up, made sure all these cars had some brand-new feed on them tonight, so thank you very much. They also had Sunoco Gas step up and be part of it. We mentioned the Butler Tire and Wheel gang who's here. And Jeff Stanton and the Stanton Tours, man, me and you need to go on that this year. It'd be great if you and I went.
My plan is to go do his inaugural ride the first week of May.
Ooh, that's
We're going to do a media ride. You can get some press about it so you guys can learn more about it and see all the fun, exciting things he has to offer up there and up in Pure, Michigan. The Hoosier Tire guys, Irish. For those who don't know Irish from Hoosier Tires, he is a massive fan of racing, just overall any kind of racing. He's been a driving force of bringing Hoosier Tires to the motocross world now too, as they're getting into that. And I'm sure when they made the call to him and said, "Hey, we're gonna have all these awesome guys, out here racing at Travelers Rest," I'm sure he jumped to the chance to help us out. So that's good. You see Deegan here, our head-to-head winner, jumping out of his Monster Energy Method race wheels car.
He's GoPro'd up. He's got his visor on. He's got a little bit of Moto mixed in there. Always bringing a little swagger, huh? Well, once we have his earpieces off and all the rest of the apparatuses it takes to drive a race car that's that loud, he's got his hat on. Let's go back down to our friend Lori. Lori, you're on pit row with the winner of head-to-head racing.
Yes, we have Brian Deegan here. What was your strategy with your winning?
I think the strategy for any motocross guy is get the inside, and you know, I had a pretty good advantage having that inside gate there on the start. And but, you know, we came in there, and, you know, Jeremy ran me hard. He was inside of me there for a minute, and I was giving it everything I had. And I sent it into turn 3 going, well, it's either going to stick or it's going to the wall. And it stuck. So overall, we had a lot of fun. That was a fun race. Me and Jeremy have had a lot of battles in the off-road truck series. And it's fun to come out here and do that again. Hopefully it was a cool show for the fans. And just stoked to get to do this, having a lot of fun with all these guys. They're so competitive. There's a grudge match for sure. So we'll see how it goes in the main event.
Well, folks, that's going to wrap up our head-to-head. Guess what? We got Hornets coming up next, and then we have our A feature. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have the Hornets on the track, and our buddy Terry Reeves will bring you all the action. We'll be back in just a moment on Fight TV.
Butler Tire, we baby your car.
The drone shot tells us if we look down, Terry Reeves joined us, the fourth member of the squad, joins us in the booth. Now, Terry, you're the local voice of this place. You gave the invocation, and now we have the Hornet cars getting lined up down right dead in front of us down here on the track. Terry, there you are on television right now. All your friends back in, well, right here probably, right?
Exactly, right here. I live in Marietta, South Carolina, so I'm less than 6 miles away from the track. To see these guys get out here and get spotlighted, Rob, is absolutely awesome. Because, I mean, look at it. This is the best way to get in. It's almost like going motocross racing on an XR70, okay? So that's what we're looking at out here tonight. I mean, we've got Tyler Capps. We have Justin Harris. These guys, their dads have worked so hard for so long to get these kids out here, and it's absolutely awesome to see this.
Give us a rundown on who we're looking at.
I'm telling
you,
you right
look
now,
at the gate, we got them folks right up on the front row. They're going to get a sighting lap. I think they get paced in, and then we're going racing. This is their main event, right?
Absolutely, because if you look, Justin Harris with a 21.823 qualifying time, sitting on the pole. Chris Meadows on the outside. Cody Page, second row inside. Tyler Capps, second row outside. Dean Riddle, here he is, sitting on third row inside. Ricky Hill, third row outside. Josh Whitfield, James Coggins, Chris and James, brothers out there battling it out. Bryson Lindsay, a kid out there,
doing a great job. Jordan Hill, which is Ricky Hill's son, doing a great job out there. Danny Tolson and Troy Owenby. That's going to round out our Hornets, as we call them now, or front-wheel drive. But, man, this is absolutely awesome to see these kids get out here and to race. Now, I call them kids because they're way younger than you and I are.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm very young myself.
Oh, yeah, I'm 22. But
both
anyway.
of us. Okay, here we are back straightaway. Now look at what we've got. These guys are getting paced in right now. They've got some of them have spray painted their numbers on. Some have full-blown graphics. But the one thing they have in common, they're all front-wheel drive, and they're all 4 cylinders. I see the number 2 car, I believe that is.
That's Tyler Capps.
Saving money on numbers, just going straight electrical tape.
Listen,
I love that.
These guys, but you saw the purple ribbon.
Oh, yeah.
That's for breast cancer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Tyler is the Capps family is a real big sponsor of this, and they do a great job. That's not to be making fun of anybody,
no.
but that's what they do.
I lost my mom to cancer, so I could certainly appreciate
Exactly.
his sentiment
And
there.
so it's absolutely awesome to see these guys out here. And like you said, I mean, look at the chrome numbers up front on Justin Harris's car.
Beautiful.
Hey, I don't.
Ray Rapps probably did that, right?
I think I'm not sure, but I could
bet.
almost bet that it was Ray Rapps, because if you look at the cars that are sitting down here, that is what we saw. The Ray Rapps, immaculate.
He did it for us in the V8s, and here we are with the Hornets, the Butler tire truck. We're going to make another lap right here as we get them lined up.
You know, the funny thing is I talked to Ricky Carmichael. I talked to him last night, so I talked to him again today, okay? And when I was down there and did the national anthem and the prayer and stuff, and I told Ricky, I said, I've never been on TV, man. And I said, I am scared to death. You know what Ricky told me? Be yourself. Be yourself. You will do fine. So, hey, we're going to call the race like we normally do here on a Friday or Saturday night. And, hey, I apologize for everybody that's watching, but here we go. We are getting ready to go green. We're going to come off of 4. Hey, the pole man sets the position, but the flagman starts the race.
They're all bundled up nice and tight. Looks like they've done this before.
Absolutely.
The Butler tire truck's in. There we go, green. And we got the big shot coming down. Who's going to take the first big risk?
Look at the one car. See, he's pushing up. He's pushing up on the 34 of Chris Meadows. Pushed up there, banked off of him. And that's the way these guys run. But you're talking about turning 21 seconds a lap here, Rob. That's fast.
We got some 19.9s on the V8s, and these are the 4-cylinder Hornets. And you can see them, 2, almost 3 wide coming into the corners right here. Everybody's driving like a pro tonight. Haven't had a yellow flag, have we?
Absolutely not, which is amazing. But if you look, Chris Meadows is looking for anything that he can gain on Justin Harris. Justin Harris out front. I'm watching for the Coggins boys to come up. The Coggins boys, they race so hard here. There you can see them going through turn 2. There, right there. Look at the 2 car of Tyler Capps. Tyler, they don't mind giving a little sheet metal damage.
What do you call that? That's bump drafting, isn't it, right there coming
bump
down?
drafting. We'll call it bump drafting.
A little bump drafting.
Rear tire bump, whatever you will call on motorcycle. But here comes the 56 of Ricky Hill. This guy right here, Ricky Hill, is, I'm telling you, he will push it to the limit.
Crowd's going wild out there. The number 1 keeps continuing to hold the pace down. Everybody's still bunched up. A lot of cars in contention.
Absolutely, because, hey, you never give up. You never know what's going to happen. I talked with the earlier. I talked about the axles, because when you're putting that much pressure, these guys are flying out there. And when you put that much pressure on a right front axle on a front-wheel drive, you can have all kind of issues, Rob.
I think we have our first car out of the race. It's the white car. He continues to soldier on. I believe that's the 22 car. We'll have to look down here and see what the number is as he came by. It was a little bit, maybe it's the 22R.
That was probably Troy Owensby. That was Troy Owensby.
Looks like we're getting the halfway mark from the flagman out there.
Well, that's going to get us halfway closer to the A main.
Look at the 10 car. Look at 10 car trying to put the move. That's Chris Coggins putting it on his own brother, James. These guys they never, ever stop. They push it all the way to the limit.
Well, you got Easter coming up. You got to have something to brag about at the table.
Exactly. It is absolutely awesome. Let's see if the 77, I'm telling you right now, it would not surprise me at all if the 77 can get back to his brother. He's going to take him out. That's the way it goes.
Well, we got the black car coming up. I know he has a number on the outside here. Hard to get a look at it. He's working the inside, but the 77 car has to fend him off but not lose touch with his brother right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But look at the black car. Can't see the number. I'm thinking that may be Bryson Lindsay. Not sure.
Looks like 88.
88. Oh, that's Dean Riddle. Well, the Riddle boys are absolutely no strangers to the Coggins here at Travelers Rest, I can promise you.
Boy, we got a little breakaway up front, though, right now. It looks like that number 1 car has not only found the hot groove, but he's found some horsepower on these cars.
Justin Harris is doing. Oh, we got a caution here on the track. Oh, we got one stopped up there. Not sure who it was. Right there, number 11 looks like in the backstretch. Looks like Danny Tollison. Danny Tollison has pulled over. Oh, he's back going. And you will have that when they get stretched out. These guys are all friends, Rob. Here's the issue. You get these guys that are friends, and when they see, like Justin Harris, he's pulling away from the lead. Somebody running at the back may stop. They may stop. They may spin their own self out to make sure that their buddy gets to catch up with Justin Harris.
Well, I tell you what, I can't say that I've ever seen any of that anywhere else, but we're down here at Travelers Rest, so you never know what you're going to encounter down here.
But, Rob, we never see that in motorcycle racing.
No.
You cannot stop.
These guys are bumping.
Oh, absolutely.
Slow. That's just to let them know you're there.
That's it. He wants the number 34 of Chris Meadows. He wants Justin Harris to know, I am here, buddy. I am here, and I will be coming for you. And if you look at, and
he spun him out before they took the green.
Exactly. He wants him to know he is there. That's the way front-wheel drive racing is. It is as competitive as Chad Reed, Jerry McGrath, Ricky Carmichael going at it across doubles. We heard stories last night at the VIP. We were at the VIP lunch dinner last night. And, these guys were sharing stories of coming together across triples and going into turns and being taken out. This is the same start that these guys are working on.
So if they spun him out before the green flag, does he maintain the lead position?
He should go back to the rear, and I'm pretty sure that the officials are going to put him back there. Oh, we saw a little sign language there. He said, "Peace, brother. How are you doing?" But he only used one finger.
That's what I told you. It's number 1.
That's what he was telling him. But the Chris Meadows.
Looks like they're letting him stay up front. I think they would have told him by now. I know they got some radio communicators where the track's talking to him. Maybe they thought that was a little bit, I don't know. We'll see. Looks like he's holding on to that. He's giving him the back corner again if he wants to spin him out.
He is, and I'm not sure what's going on right now because
single file start. It looks like they're not balled up door to door, so it's like to be a single file, and they're going to let him hold on to that lead spot.
The only way that he could stay up front, though, Rob, is because of he could say Justin Harris checked up on him, because that is a common thing. If you'll watch right here we go into turn 3. Okay, so if we're coming off 4 here to go green, if Harris checks up and they are supposed to take off, that's when it happens.
They are. They got the green, and here we go. The number 1 still maintains the lead, and that number 1 car is Justin Harris. Now, can he break away? And it looks like he's opened up a car length or 2. Down the back straight they go. We're past the halfway point.
You got to watch Cody Page. in the C11. Here he comes. See, Cody Page saw the opportunity to go in there and bank off of it. White flag is in the air, Rob.
I knew this was going to be a good one, and the Hornets have not disappointed.
Absolutely not. They never do. This is some of the most fierce battles. Look at the 11 car, the one car of Justin Harris. Left rear wheel is up in the air, and here he comes. He's waving.
Fist pumping to the crowd as he takes the win.
Absolutely. The 34 of Chris Meadows going to finish up second, and Cody Page going to finish up third. What a battle. What do you think about these front-wheel drives running backwards?
Oh, I think they had a good time. I think they did. He stops on the back straightaways. He got some friends out there?
I hope he does. Especially after, I hope Chris Meadows has friends over in the pits, but that's normal dirt track racing here. But it looks to me like the 56 is stopping over there just to congratulate him, and that's Ricky Hill. Ricky is definitely an awesome driver here.
Well, we're going to have us a victory lane, if you will, have a chance to talk to some of these. It looks like he's going to get a push. Did he run out of gas?
Not sure what's went on there, but Ricky's gonna push Justin Harris. Looks like he's gonna push him across the scales because we have to come across the scales, make sure the weight's right, and this, that, and other. But looks like he's gonna be pushing him all the way to victory lane, Rob.
Boy, that's something you got to do. You got to help the winner come on over to get his accolades, his interview, and his big a cup.
Absolutely. And, I'd like to thank you guys, first time ever. I appreciate you coming to Travelers Rest, beautiful Travelers Rest, South Carolina. And we have had a blast here tonight at Travelers Rest Speedway.
It's not just a racetrack, it's a destination.
Exactly.
Plan your next trip around it, be part of the action. And we have the winners getting pushed over to victory lane. And they're going to bring them in right by the Butler Tire and Wheel truck. And Lori will be down there, have a chance to talk to the winner, find out how the race worked out for him and what he's going to do with all this newfound wealth. Travelers Rest stepped up the purse and making their way over.
Rob, I'm thinking it was like $1,200 to win tonight in this class.
I think somebody made some money.
You could almost buy a car. You could almost buy one of those cars for that.
You never know. Somebody might walk over and buy the winner's car. Let them build a new one out of that.
Exactly. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for awesome time here tonight. And the big race is yet to come.
Now, we got the A-Main coming up as soon as we get the interview out of the way. We'll let the drivers climb out of their car, get their helmets off, stretch out a little bit. I got some great sponsors, I'm sure, that helped them be here. Lori will be over there in Victory Lane. She'll have a chance to talk to him coming up in just a moment. Eddie Ray's down there running around like a wild man, getting everybody revved up and ready to go.
That is typical Eddie Ray style.
Oh, yeah. On the gas and making calls. And, again, we're waiting for the winner to come over. We'll have a chance to interview him in just a moment. We see the TV crew making their run over there.
Not sure why the car's not up on the podium yet.
Well, they're doing things a little bit different here tonight. And I believe that what we were going to do is put them right in front of that Butler tire truck, and they just drove on by. But that's why we have drivers' meetings for. Get them all up to speed. The best thing about a drivers' meeting, you show up, but you don't got to listen to nothing.
Exactly, because we always, back when I raced, we called that the liars' meeting.
All right, folks. Well, we're going to get ready to talk to the winner tonight in the Hornets class. Let's go down to Lori. Lori, you have the winner of the Hornets class. Not a thing. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. And they're down there. We're going to have a chance to get some camera shots of some of the other drivers in there. And, Lori, let's go back down and see if we got that mic working. Well, we're back up to that big aerial view, JH, and we had a chance to look at the Hornet winners. But I think most of the folks that are sitting at home watching Fight TV right now want to see what happens when you take 7 of the fastest two-wheelers, throw them in a four-wheeler, hot rod stock car, and find out how this one's going to turn out. We've seen them as individuals. We've seen them 2-on-2. But these were short little sprint races, 3-lappers. JH, we're going for 20 right now.
Yeah, that's right. We were just my little break there. Appreciate Terry stepping in and covering that Hornets race for us. You guys did a great job. Had the our good friends at Kinetic Gaskets here. They drove down also from North Carolina, brought his son down, Matt Klug, who's been big friends and supporters of Ricky throughout his car racing career. They came down to check it out and see the action. Was telling me he could not believe when he pulled up how many people are here tonight. The line to get in was crazy. I got a good report on exactly how many people are out there right now. He said trying to find a place to park, it was almost impossible. He says we have a great crowd on hand here. And we were just talking right now before we came back into the TV booth here about that feature tonight and how 20 laps is going to be great, and that there's so many storylines developing right now amongst the riders and the drivers, The drivers, I knew, man, I'm glad we didn't make that side bet earlier.
We both know each other about $1,000.
That's right. But just, we've seen a lot of different stuff right now. We've seen fastest qualifiers in the first practice slip down a little bit. Then we've seen them come back, have some success in the head-to-head. We saw Deegan go ahead and take out both the first and second fastest qualifiers, Chad Reed and Jeremy McGrath. So there's a lot going on here, and we know those guys deeper in the field, Dungey, Ricky, we know those guys are going to, for sure, without a doubt, they're going to put on the show tonight because they're just waiting at their chance. Now, we've also had just a bunch of extra laps with more cars in the track, so that's going to also help bring this track in and widen that groove a little bit.
They always talk about racecraft, and they learn something each and every time they're out there, where to go, how to come in, how to enter the corner. Deegan, taking advice from his daughter, certainly tightened up his program as the night goes on, but now it's 20 laps. Now you have a chance for these riders to stalk you, to try to work maybe a little two-man work on you right now. Put the slide job on you, as like to say in that arena. And the drivers are down there hanging out there, getting ready for their cars, and you see everybody down there is a little bit relaxed and getting ready to go. So we're moments away from getting these cars fired up. What we're going to do is we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to get these drivers in their car. We're going to get their helmet strapped on, the Hans device on, and we're going to be getting ready to go here in just a moment. We're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have our A main.
That's Brayton's mechanic.
Well, that's what we look at, JH, when we have our final commercial break of the night. The track has been incredible. And what we need to do right now is we need to give some thanks because, when we do something like this, we have to count on so many people to do it. And Road to Recovery has been truly amazing. What they do is they go out and look after the families, the wives, everybody. And when they joined forces with us and they said, listen, we could help make this even better, the crowd stepped up, and Road to Recovery is a huge part of what we do. Let's go find out more about Road to Recovery.
Thanks, Rob. So my name's Lori, as you know, and I'm with Road to Recovery. We're a foundation that helps injured motocross, supercross, and action sport athletes when they have a debilitating injury. And the way that you can help support us is by going to roadtorecovery.com, and you can make a donation if you feel like it. But most importantly, we have some awesome, amazing gear that these drivers wore tonight that will be up on auction, as well as this aligned print signed by Ricky Carmichael and Chad Reed. So go to roadtorecovery.com. All the eBay auction items will be listed up there, and this all starts next Monday. And, of course, I want to say a huge thank you to Fight TV and all those amazing drivers and sponsors who made this possible.
Well, thanks a lot, Lori. You do a lot of work, and certainly the Road to Recovery is the chosen charity that we've worked with now for just about everyone, and we're just so proud to say that we could be a small little help when it comes to making sure that the power sports community, the motocross, the supercross community has some support. So thank you very much, Road to Recovery, and Lori for all your hard work. Well, now the butterflies are really flying, JH. This is going to be the A main, 20 laps. Not a 2-lapper, not a 3-lapper. You're not out by yourself, just you and one of your buddies. It's going to be everybody. Your racecraft is going to have to be on point tonight because in 20 laps, somebody's going to spin out. Somebody's going to lose a little bit of drive coming out of the corner. Do you check up or do you drive down to the bottom of the track and make that pass? That is going to be how this one is determined.
That's right. Track position is going to be key tonight, too. It's going to be interesting. These guys have not seen the track now since their head-to-head race, and there's been another race that's happened in between there, which has put some more rubber down the track. It's definitely probably widened the groove a little bit. You also have a situation here now with some of the guys who went out early in the bracket race who haven't seen the track even longer. So they're going to be trying to feel their way around the track, figure out where the fast line is, and if you're going to be a little bit further back, those slower qualifiers, you want to take advantage of your seeing what you can learn from in front of you to see where the fast guys are and take advantage of any mishaps that might happen in front of you without getting caught up in them as well.
How about the motorcycle industry checking in? Marshall, Plum, and Bones down there letting us know that they're having a good time. Marshall's got us on in the shop. Bones has got us on up at the cabin. He's probably fishing right now. I think my wife's watching it even tonight. Is your family tuned in as well?
I hope so, but it's a little bit past my kids' bedtime, so I'm imagining that they'll catch the replay tomorrow on Fight TV if I had to guess.
Well, I hope my wife and daughter are at home having a good time. We got some new puppies running around the house, so I'm sure they got their hands full and checking out some stock car racing as the drivers are beginning to get a little bit of the suit tied up. It's no longer tied around the waist, JH. They're getting slid into those shoulder sleeves.
Yeah, that's right. These the cars, what's nice about car racing, especially for these guys who spent the majority of their careers outside of a cage, there's got to be a certain comfort of strapping in to go do a fun race like this at these speeds and a track like this, but being able to be safe, strapped in, like I said, with big, thick belts and a roll cage and safe cars built around them definitely makes them probably feel more comfortable than their old motocross days when you had nothing around you but a thin jersey, and that's about it.
How about when they hear the V8 fired up, you see the fans starting to run to the stands, getting up there? Great group of people out here in South Carolina. They sure know how to do it down in Travelers Rest. And it looks like we got the 2 machine that's going to pull up. Eddie Ray checks him up. Here comes the 5 of Dungey's car out onto the track, and they'll get them lined up in their proper positions. They'll get the Butler Tire pace truck out in front of them. And JH, we're getting ready for our feature, 20-lap A main.
Yeah, that's right. You see these guys, Jeremy out there. First one, eager to go. Ryan Dungey behind him in the Ryan Dungey Coffee Ride, RD Coffee brand. Jeremy McGrath, Moog Signs by Traps, helped bring his car here to Travelers Rest Speedway. Dungey with Moto Star. Great to have that support on the car here tonight.
Chad Reed in the Columbia Flag and Sign Company. Deegan in the LDC Army. And how about Brayton sponsor?
Dirt Monkey. and Christian Vande coming in with the big one with Peterbilt, which is a great have them on board, and Ricky Carmichael with Leland and Deegan Jones. Great little story there. Some of our former camp members that have been to Ricky Carmichael University at the Goat Farm before, and they came all the way down from New Jersey, packed up their trailer, did some riding at south of the border motocross track before coming here today to watch Ricky throw the support. They're great family, great racing family. It's cool to see them out here supporting Ricky and his ride here tonight.
They're getting them lined up. It looks like it's going to be the number 22 and the 2 on the front row. That's going to be Jeremy McGrath and Chad Reed. Behind them, it looks like Deegan and the 10 of Brayton. Dungey off to the side. They haven't pulled him into a spot yet. I know, and here we go as we start to creep out on. Does Dungey get to pull up? Or are they going to put him in the number 2 spot? No, Deegan's going to tuck in right behind. And Deegan on the inside, tucking in behind McGrath.
A little love tap right there he gives him. Let him know he's there.
How do you do? There's the number 4 machine to Ricky Carmichael, maybe in the most dangerous position out there. He's going to have to come through the pack. And you know, JH, and no one knows better than you, he's one of these individuals that this little bit of challenge right now, I got to imagine that the race face he has on right now is almost scary.
Yeah, he says he's here to have fun, but I know he didn't come all this way to just sit there and have fun. I know that for sure. Outside's going to be tough here early on, staying out of trouble on that outside line. You got to make sure you protect yourself because we got 20 laps here tonight, Rob. It's not going to be a quick green-white checker like we were doing earlier with our head-to-head racing. This is going to be a 20-lap main event, so we got plenty of laps to race. Take advantage of everything you can early on here and keep your car clean and safe, and then work your way to the front in the second half of this race. That'd be my strategy.
So Deegan pulled up beside the 2. Is he going to try to go 3 wide? So here's our starting grid lineup. McGrath with pole position, Chad Reed in the number 2 spot. Brian Deegan will work on that inside, the number 38 car in 3. Brayton will be on his outside in the 4. Dungey in the number 5 spot, in the number 5 car. Carmichael in the 6th spot in the 4 machine. And Christian Vande will start in the number 7 position. No one right beside his door.
Yeah, the drivers here, our Moto drivers, are going to come by. They're going to give a salute to the fans. You're going to see a little wave to you guys. Make sure you guys give a wave back, a little fan salute, welcoming fans back here to Motorsport Racing at Travelers Rest, South Carolina.
The end of February, we got Bike Week coming up, and there's the crowd out there having a great time. How about you folks out there? Make some noise, wave your hands, and have a good time. Show the folks at home what they're missing here from Travelers Rest. Listen to the V8s down there. Listen to them as they feather the throttles, blip them up. Get those push rides. The final race of the night. This is what it's all about. We're going to get these guys a little bit closer. Gary Port in the Butler Tire pace truck has them bunched up behind him. 2 Arma cars on the pole. Putting in some good work, but look at Deegan lurking back there in that number 3 spot. He looks like a shark right now.
Yeah, one of Chad's earliest heroes of racing, and now it's got to be a cool feeling to be lined up alongside of him in a fun event like this. That's got to be so cool for him. I'm sure he's enjoying it right now.
Brayton out there. Carmichael trying to get Brayton to tighten it up a little bit. He doesn't want to be that far back. Looks like they're going to try to put another lap in here and getting the boys a little bit snugger up. You got the pace truck out in front. He's going to make another lap. This is going to be their first mass start of the weekend. One of the most iconic shots when you look down there. Motocross, supercrossers, and Olympians in stock cars. They got some hot rods going tonight.
Yeah, you can hear these cars. They're getting them warmed up, getting the tires, get a little heat in the tires right now, cleaning them off a little bit. Those V8s sound so cool. It was one of the coolest parts for I think all of us this weekend when the owners that loaned us these cars rolled in and they fired them up for the first time, backed them out of the trailer. You can see all these guys' smiles, ear-to-ear grins, getting excited about it.
Looks like we're getting a little bit closer up front. Is the pace truck off? Yes, it is.
Green flag, green, green, green. Here we go, racing, boys.
Jeremy McGrath with Reed. Here comes Deegan up the inside. Deegan on the low side. McGrath takes the high line down the back straights to 22 of Chad Reed as he displaces Deegan back into number 3 spot.
Jeremy definitely picking up where he left off earlier in his qualifying run. That clean air out front, clean racetrack, being able to pick the spot he wants to go to.
Reed keeping them honest down there. Here they go down the back straight to 2 of Jeremy McGrath. Still with the advantage over the 22. Oh. And we have we have a car on fire. We have a car on fire on the back straight, and it's a Dungey.
He's out of the car. See him getting out. He's okay. He's got himself away from it. Not sure what happened there.
Well, that's a tough break for the number 5 of Ryan Dungey, and here comes the Hawkins tow truck out onto the track. There's still a fire burning under that car.
A little bit of damage there to the front end. Not sure. Can't really tell. See, the marks are obviously got into the wall, but not sure if he got some help or if he just spun out or if something maybe didn't go okay with the car there. Not sure quite what happened, but glad to see he's obviously out of the car quickly, and obviously seems to be totally okay there. Got the rest of the field parked here while we get this cleared up.
You see the people coming onto the scene, a lot of them probably the car owners right now. Looking over the car, trying to find out exactly what it was. I know that they had a little bit of an oil leak that was dripping down onto the headers yesterday. There'd be a little puff of smoke that might have just opened it up a little bit and got a little more down on there than we thought. There's the number 38 machine tucked up beside. I believe that's Jeremy McGrath as they talk it over. A little bit of smoke out on the track right now.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed, or not disappointed, just frustrated for Ryan. I know he put a lot of effort into this. He was so excited when he got the phone call and we were putting his field together, and we were trying to see if he was going to be able to make it, and he definitely worked his schedule to be able to come here, worked the schedule even more to make sure he got some testing time in since he hadn't had any experience in this before. So I'm really bummed for him that his night's going to be over like this, because he's had a good car all weekend. He was getting faster and faster. The RD Coffee and the MotoStar sponsorship to help bring him here. It's really a shame. Hate to see this.
Yeah, tough break. I know that they had talked earlier. Now, these cars, a lot of the sheet metal, and we were talking to the owner of Dungey's car, and he was mentioning that these cars, they have a pre-cut kind of layout, and they said that the sheet metal on the car can be replaced once they cut it out. But, yeah, hate to see that was our first bang-up of the weekend, if you will.
Yeah, it was. Other than Reedy tapping the wall in qualifying. I see Christian Velde. He's also here in the pits. I think, and I'm not 100% sure, I might have heard some popping as it went down the straight here in front of us in our announcer booth here on that lap prior to Dungey going down. This car that Christian's in, again, a testament to these guys that are here helping out all these drivers tonight, these car owners. He had a rear transmission issue yesterday in the practice, so they brought this thing back to their shop and turned around and brought him a brand new race car for today, which is just, again, can't thank these guys enough for helping make this happen. So he is helping get it back going here again. Not quite sure what they're working on. Now we can see them.
I got to think there was a bunch of chemicals and oils and lubricants that were down on that track. We did have a small fire.
Fortunately, it was on the straight and not in the corner. That's the good news. So definitely just get a little bit of dirt on there. Especially, that's a good thing about dirt track racing. It doesn't take much to clean it up. A few shovelfuls of dirt and you're good. There's a look at the damage of Dungey's car.
Looks like the structure in the front might have looks like it just got tacoed in the front there. They'll be pulling that thing out, frame straightener, and new front clip, and that thing will be back in action. The RD Coffee hood up on the roof right now.
Big thanks to the MotoStar for helping make this thing happen here tonight for Ryan. I know he's got to be super disappointed. His wife Lindsay's here tonight. They are enjoying their weekend. Went and stayed at the local Dominis Hotel downtown. Just having a good time here, enjoying their weekend in Traveler's Rest.
Well, they're going to get that machine. Let's go down trackside, and Lori has Ryan Dungey with them.
We got Ryan here. Can you tell me what happened?
I got a good drive up the inside. I know I was fading out a little bit. not that I had him cleared. I just was trying to stay off him, and the next thing I know, we slammed pretty good. But I really don't know what happened. I just was on the inside, and we connected, and thankfully it wasn't worse. It was I seen as we started to turn, it wasn't a good sight, but just bummed. Wanted to be out there for the full 20, and thankfully nobody's injured. Yeah, just tough.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely glad that he's safe and everybody's okay. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Lori. We're certainly glad that Ryan Dungey's safe as well. We can't wait to see him back in action. Hopefully the next time we do this, I think he's got a real future. He loves doing this, JH.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Ryan's always enjoyed, obviously he's one of the best competitors our sport's ever seen. And I know he was really excited to get back in here and just any form of racing for these guys, they really enjoy it. So as the field comes through, it looks like we see Christian Vande back out there. Whatever that problem was they were looking at with the 99 car, looks like they got it sorted out. So good for his team and Peterbilt. They're making it happen.
He moves up another spot in the standings no matter what. He's going to at least claim sixth.
That's right. Yep, that's right.
He's going to have that. That's something to talk about for many, many years to come, his first stock car race.
Such a great personality, a great competitor in the Tour de France, 11 times the Tour de France. What an experience that is. 2-time Olympian representing the good old US of A. So great to have him here tonight. I know under that helmet he's got an ear, grin-to-grin ear going, a grin going from ear to ear, just enjoying this moment out here racing with these guys.
We'll see if they're going to go green on this one or if they hold him back and they think it's a little bit too spread out. They're going to make him go one more time. Deegan's closing up Reed's. See if he's going to drop back or if he's going to try to get up real close. The two ARMA cars out front, the 2 and the 22.
Yeah, these guys elected for a single file restart here. If we have any cautions, they're going to go with single file restarts.
That gives Ricky a chance to jump up into the number 5 spot. He's in behind Brayton.
Yeah, and the rules say here that that they've elected to race on there. So Jeremy's in charge of the start here. You'll see that cone. That cone dictates Jeremy between the mark and the cone where he wants to start the race.
He gets it done.
Picking up where he left off before that caution. You can see Jeremy hitting his marks. Taking advantage of that clean air out front and that groove.
You know, a lot of times, and I've heard you guys mention before the marks, it's the braking point, it's the acceleration point. If you do it perfectly each and every lap, you're going to just do nothing but get faster and faster. Deegan right now is trying to work the inside on Chad Reed. Brian Deegan's going to try to come up the inside. Does he put any body work on Reed? No, he stays back, tries to stay in the clear, and he gets the drive coming down the front straight.
That low line definitely better than it was earlier in the bracket racing. Brian was able to make it happen down low and actually pick up some track position as opposed to losing a little time coming off of turn 4.
Reed gets a big drive down the back straight, opens up a 2 or 3 length car advantage, and here comes Brayton up the inside, and he's bringing Carmichael along for the ride.
Brayton in that muck off number 10 ride. The Dirt Monkey on board. Jeremy hitting his marks. Oh, see, is that Brian Deegan up top getting loose? Brian, no.
Just touching Carmichael and Deegan.
So Brian looks like he was trying that low line. They came into the shot there, and it looks like some smoke coming out of the rear end of that 38 car. He definitely got trying to work that low line. You saw probably taking his tips from his daughter Haley. And it worked the last lap. However, I don't know if he got too low or what exactly happened there when he got lower in the corner. He did not get the drive off and definitely got loose and started to spin and then came back out of the course, and Ricky then tapped him.
What? Looks like he had a right rear flat on the car, cut a tire, and Carmichael pulls into the pits as well. So we've got the 2, the 22, and the 10 out on the track. The number 5 car has been banged up pretty good. Looks like Carmichael's down there as well. Deegan's into the pit area with the 38. It looks like he cut a back tire.
I mean, that's dirt late on short track for you. That's unfortunately the things that happen here sometimes out of everyone's control.
So we got 14 laps left to go as these drivers have all elected for 20 laps.
Yeah, they chose. So a couple of the rules of this race, the drivers chose to do single file restarts for one. Driver controls the restart based on that cone you guys saw there on the track as they were coming to the restart earlier. And from there, if there is any caution for any reason, these guys have chosen everyone's going to stay on the lead lap. They're just going to fall back in line. So
Carmichael had the right rear that was flat as well, so they're going to do a quick change. He's still in the car.
See
Randy Richardson, he's all happy right now. Happiest guy here. There's Ricky. He's still in good spirits. He's ready to go. He thinks if they do a quick change on that thing, you see a tire coming over right now.
Yeah, so we're getting word now that Deegan did not have the flat. It was just Ricky who's got the right rear problem right now. So it looks like they got it fixed. Deegan obviously has a little bit of damage. I think he had some smoke coming out, but possibly from – I don't see any damage there in the front of Ricky's car. It was – and again, these cars are good for bumping a little bit.
Carmichael Enner's got a brand new back tire on it, right rear.
So he definitely bumped Deegan, but it doesn't look like any damage on his car. So we'll have to find out there's another issue with the 38. That Monster Energy number 4 car got to spin a lot of laps in NASCAR Truck Series racing and Xfinity racing as well. Looks like Brian telling us he's got himself a little loose there coming off of 4. He was trying to keep getting that low line worked in, and it looks like he got a little bit too low and a little bit too loose.
Well, he's certainly fine. The car's got a little bit banged up on the quarter back there. And they're going to single file this one. I don't know if they're going to be able to get back in. 14 left to go. The 22 sits in the number 2 spot. Brayton back in 3rd. Ricky Carmichael in the number 4 spot. And Kristen Vande. Is he back out in action yet? The 99 machine, as we watched him circle. I'm not sure if he's put it in the pits yet or not.
I see that, yeah, 99 looks like it. Oh, they're working on the front end of Deegan's car. Now, you know these car owners, and you know the track owner has been telling these guys out here on the track, hey, take it easy. Let's have a fun night tonight. There ain't no way, Rob. You know these guys.
We got green flags. We're back underway.
And you know they're going to go out here and go for it right now.
We're down to 4 now. And speaking of the 4, he's right in behind the Brayton. It's the 2 and the 22 out front. Into turn 3 they go, coming out of 4. The front straight awaits, and Brayton is starting to get that number 10, the muck-off car, the Dirt Monkey, all hooked up. And the laps are clicking down as they go. 2, 22, number 10, and then the 4.
You can see, Chad, he's definitely trying to bring in that lower line there, and it seems to be like they're getting a better drive than they were earlier this evening, working down low. It's probably a moto thing for these guys who want to stay as low in that corner as they can. They're not wanting to be up there too high if they don't have to be.
Vande joins the back of the pack now, the 99, as he re-enters the race. Now, you know what happens. You've seen these guys. They'll start to work a line. Will take 3 or 4 laps, and then all of a sudden that line's there for them.
Yeah, exactly. Just no different than their moto experience and getting a rut. No, sparks coming off of the number 2 there. He's working that car hard in the corners.
Down the back straight, and the laps are starting to click down. As we talked before, a 20-lap feature A main.
Looking here, looks like the cross flags are out. We are at the halfway point of the race right now. Cross flags are out, signaling the drivers, let them know that we are at the halfway point of this 20-lap feature. We have 10 laps to go. There's Ricky Carmichael.
Car number 4. You can see him in there sawing the wheel, working it, trying to gather back up to the number 10 of Brayton.
He's up in that groove. He's running that same line that you see Jeremy working on. He's not getting the drive off. Not sure if he's still got a rear tire issue there or not. Not sure if they're able to change that tire, if they were able to try to put some air in to hopefully nurse that thing to the end. But out front, it is definitely the ARMA cars, the 2 and the 22 of Jeremy McGrath and Chad Reed, having a ton of fun here, putting on a show for these fans. Travelers Rest.
Laps continue to click down.
You can see where it looks like Chad's definitely closing in some areas, but he's not getting the drive off that Jeremy's getting. But he's studying right now. You can tell he's watching Jeremy, and he's picking up what he's doing and trying to find that same drive and traction that Jeremy's got out front.
We want to give a shout out to the car owners. Mitchell Henderson owns the number 2 car, and Chris Meadows owns the 22 car. So thanks to Michael Henderson or Mitchell Henderson and Mike and Chris Meadows. Look at Brayton. Brayton's just getting better and better and better every time we see him go around. He could gather these guys up just a little bit. He's starting to close up on Reed.
Yeah, you can see how much he's working that wheel. He's working that wheel. It's unbelievable how much these guys have to put input into the wheel going through these corners to keep these things going through the corner here. I see the flag stand here right in front of us. Flagger's got the 5 to go sign out. 5 to go here, coming to 5 laps.
Man, that's all Jeremy McGrath wants to see is the checkered flag, Chad Reed. And Brayton, again, continues to chip away at what the number 22's been able to do. And here he comes, throwing it in even harder this time into turn 3 is the number 10 of Brayton. And he's definitely put himself back in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Brayton he's learning every lap like he's had all weekend here. Definitely, probably for a guy who's never been in a car like this ever before, he's definitely been learning a ton. And you can see he's putting it to work right here as he's closing in on the 22. Chad Reed.
Oh, Chad Reed's a guy that is not going to let this happen easily. And Brayton is now right on his back bumper. Brayton up behind. Does he get the drive on Reed? Not even to get the pass done. But Reed is still with a half a car length advantage over Brayton. Michael Barbray owns the number 10 machine. He has to be super pumped for Brayton, and Brayton gets a better drive this time.
Yeah, Brayton's definitely working that line. I got a little higher there, I think, when he went, or he could be setting up to try to get a little bit better drive off that corner, trying to find some of that magic.
White flag waves for the 2 of Jeremy McGrath. Showtime. 1 more lap to go. It's been a while since he's picked up a win against any of these guys, so he's going to be jumping on the roof, I think, when he's done.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are still racers, and they love it, that's for sure.
Here comes McGrath out of turn 4. And the checkered flag waves for Jeremy McGrath. Oh, and Brayton is going to lose the spot to Carmichael on the last lap. That should put Carmichael up into the number 3 spot, rounding out the podium as Brayton slides out on the final lap and is going to finish in the number 4 spot.
The final lap in the final course, same spot that got Deegan earlier in the event. Probably trying hard to keep that line in there. He was trying to make that position up on Chad Reed. He was definitely battling with Chad there at the end, probably giving it everything it had, knowing he had laps running out, and just got spun in the same corner, that same spot. It's a tricky corner. It was the same one he saw him all day yesterday have some issues with while they were trying to learn this course. So
I got to think that McGrath and Reed right now are going to be on a text talking to each other for the next 35 days, just reminiscing this whole thing right now. It's been truly amazing. There goes Jeremy McGrath throwing a little donut in front of the crowd just to let everybody know this is where victory lane's going to be.
Chad doing the same thing over here.
Glade Edwards, number 4 car, Glade Edwards. There's a number 2 machine. Jeremy McGrath getting a little frisky out there with the throttle. So, man, I tell you what, that was something that we didn't expect. These guys got a little bit rough and tumble out there. Dungey was one of the first drivers out. We've seen a tough break for Brian Deegan out there, but it was the number 2 machine of Jeremy McGrath who was able to pick up the win with Chad Reed in the number 2 spot, and Ricky Carmichael takes the number 3 spot. We'll have a Victory Row celebration here. We'll find out how this went for him. And, man, I hope you folks at home enjoyed this as much as we did. We know that we're trying to constantly bring you something maybe you haven't seen before, and we hope we succeeded tonight. It's been a real pleasure, JH, you and I hanging out, talking about race cars and seeing these great supercross and motocross and bicycle legends drive these machines around.
Yeah, it was an awesome night tonight. We want to thank everyone from the Travelers Rest Speedway, everyone for supporting the Road to Recovery, our car sponsors that have been on there helping make this happen, and then all the drivers making the effort to come here and put on a show for you guys. Hopefully, we've got something good started here, and I'm sure this is going to be a conversation starter for looking to do more events like this in the future on Fight TV. There you go. See the excitement there from Jeremy and Chad. I told you.
This is it's great to just see these personalities together again. This is what we kind of thought might happen. they love competing against each other. It just makes them feel comfortable knowing that no matter how it shakes out, it's great. You can see the conversation already going. I'm telling you right now, they're talking about almost every lap of this 20-lapper right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's just fun to see the smiles on their faces. I mean, these guys are competitors at heart. Super excited.
Well, let's take them through from 7th up, JH. We've got Ryan Dungey in the number 7 spot. Christian Vande in 6th. Brian Deegan in the number 38 Monster Car was 5th. Justin Brayton, last lap donut, finishes in the number 4 spot. Carmichael, the consummate professional, knows it's never over till the checker flag flies, finishes on the podium in 3rd. Chad Reed taking 2nd, and your winner tonight in MotoCar FITE Klub, the inaugural event, Jeremy McGrath. The drones are flying above here, the packed parking lot. We've got Daytona just a week away, JH.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to get back to what's normal for these guys. Hopefully, Justin Brayton, who is battling through an injury all since practice crash, will be. You can watch him tune in to Supercross.
Well, let's go down to Lori. Lori, who you with?
Oh, that was some exciting racing. We got our first place winner, Jeremy McGrath. How do you feel?
Oh, man, that was so exciting. You know, I knew it was going to be tight. There was some carnage out there, and having track position was really, really the key. And I got off to a couple good starts. That last start, I kind of stumbled a little bit right in the start box, and I was like, oh, man, I think Chad got in the back of me and gave me a little jump start there. But, yeah, man, what a great night. I mean, all the event itself has just been great. So thank you guys for coming out. Appreciate you car owners for helping us with the cars. That was awesome. Obviously, thanks to the guys for making this happen too, Fight TV, and everyone watching at home. You guys are great. It's nice to have our old buddies out here riding, and of course it's nice. I mean, who would have thought? I don't know. I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. I thought I had a good chance, but getting the win was pretty cool.
That's amazing. Well, we got something a little special for you, for our first place guy.
JH, they got the number 1 trophy. We've got a couple more drivers to talk to, but I think Jeremy McGrath is a pretty happy camper at this moment.
Yeah, you can just see that emotion, how excited he is to get this victory. A victory is a victory. It doesn't matter what you're in. He's really excited. We're going to bring it back down to Lori, and we're going to hear from 2nd place, Chad Reed.
Okay, guys, we got Chad Reed here. Big 2nd place. How are you feeling?
No, I mean, you always want to win, but I came in here and said, as long as the 22 is ahead of the 4, it's a win-win. So, no, it was awesome, man. I had so much fun, and every lap you're learning, and, you start to get a little greedy. You start to catch a little. You get a little greedy. You pay the price, and then you back up. And, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the king's still the king, I guess.
It was definitely some exciting racing. Who do you want to thank?
I just think it's so awesome that we come out here and Arma Sport, 1 and 2 on pole, 1 and 2 in the race. Jeremy and I are both owners, super passionate about the product and the company. And, man, I'm just stoked to be here. Like I told you earlier, I was so happy just to hear the anthem and go racing again. So, yeah, bragging rights in my LCQ league. Pastrana didn't have the balls to come out this weekend, but I know he's on my group chat right now blowing me up, telling me that he'd beat me. But, bro, you didn't show up.
Guys down there, JH, will certainly let everybody know around the world. I know that Reedy was talking earlier about all his friends on the Instagram from IndyCar racing. Let's go back down to Lori and let's have her talk to our 3rd place finisher, the greatest of all time with 150 wins. Let's go down to Ricky Carmichael and Lori.
Yes, I have the GOAT, Mr. Ricky Carmichael. I think you did great tonight. How did you feel out there?
Well, I felt better yesterday, to be honest with you. I'd rather be lucky than good today, right? That was a very lucky 3rd. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully everyone at home had a lot of fun watching it, and the fans, the turnout was just absolutely amazing. We appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. These guys are really, really good at what they do, and all aspects of all kind of sports, especially when it has an engine. So I was glad to get out there and be on the same track as them, and I can't wait to do this again. Hopefully I'm invited back, and you guys tune in.
Well, my name's Rob Vitus and J.H. Leal and our friend Terry Reeves. And, of course, the pit reporter Lori down there doing a great job. J.H., I think we had a great time here at Travelers Rest. And for the first inaugural ever MotoCar FITE Klub, I think all of our athletes had a great time.
Yeah, that was obvious. The fans had a great time. You can see the drivers had a great time. It was an inaugural event. I think we learned a lot from this event on FITE TV, and these guys got a chance to experience some great dirt car racing. And I'm sure this is going to set the tone for some future racing and future challenges.
Well, it's certainly been a great time. They're down there checking out the track. Everybody that's been here, we want to thank the folks from Butler Tire and Wheels for being a big part of it. We want to thank Jeff Stanton Adventure Tours for doing it. And we can't wait to see you all next time. I'm Rob Vitus.
I'm J.H. Leal.
And we're signing off from here at Travelers Rest Speedway on FITE TV. You've just witnessed the first ever MotoCar FITE Klub.